Rod, I know that you were having a media day today. How was it? I remember that in PNC you wore that USA jersey.
Yeah,
Did you have
yeah.
anything special prepared today?
I did the fun thing for Thailand for PNC because it was kind of representing my country, whereas I was having a lot more fun for Thailand.
But I recognize that your jersey is different.
Our jersey specifically is made for Dubai. It was specifically made for wherever we go, wherever we travel for PGC.
Dubai fans would like it too.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you met like other players like from other regions and other teams?
Yeah, I've met a bunch of players. I've met all of Overpeakers. I've met EIQ.
People in the cars.
I haven't met any of the Chinese teams, which I'm really excited to meet them because this is the first event that they've been to.
Did you have any particular players that you want to meet?
And I really want to meet Zepion because I think he's very, very underrated. So yeah, I'm excited to meet them.
So you're very strong in the Americas region. That's like nobody would doubt that. But coming into PGC, it didn't work out.
So I think our biggest problem last year is we were very cocky, and losing last year kind of brought us back down to earth and realized that we're not, you know, we weren't the best, and we have a lot to work on in our game. So just going into this year, we had to work out a lot of stuff and figure out what was going wrong. So I think coming into this event, we're very excited. And
which team could be the biggest rival coming into PGC 2022 for Sonics?
I think the biggest rival for us would be SGD. They're going to be landing in Pichinki Pakata with us, and they're in our group. So we will have to fight them for our drop spots, which is going to be very fun. It's a revolver. It's the R18. It's a pistol.
So we're gonna give you a gift because you got it right. You hear it, maybe? Okay, you're gonna pick one gift.
Do I have to touch it?
Yeah.
One gift on it? I want this one.
Okay,
I want
you
this
sure?
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is cute.
3-level backpack?
Oh, it's a level 3 backpack. Can I put it on?
That's too small for you.
Yeah, it's too small.
I hope Sonics do well.
What do you want us to do? Who do you want to win? Oh, gosh.
왜 턱걸이 걸렸지? 안 들려요? 잠깐만. 이거 못 들었다고?
Ain't no sunshine. One show with that one crime. That's how I'm feeling. Finna go make a killing now. Yeah, that's how I'm living now. I'm finna bust through the roof right now. Got a handle on the game. Never can put out the flame. Never cared about the fame. Asking my words 'cause of time, yeah. They gotta change that language. Guess I ain't speaking your already did it. Already seen it. Already seen it. It's already done. Already done. What is the hype about? We already won. Already won. Back to be told, I'm back to my ways. We're on road. Back to my ways, I'm back to my ways. Thought I was turning the page. I'm back to my ways. Back, Babe. Prayer hands like Jesus. All praise the Most High. Look, I ain't talking about K2. Catch your girl, I hate you. This right here, my prelude. I created this sound, all y'all buying gotta call pay dues. They show me love when they see me. Don't really know if they mean it though. I know your man wanna be me, but now he would never admit it though. Why is your girl in my inbox? One text and I seal the deal. I hit her up when I'm faded. You better bet she know the deal. Already got it. Already with it. What is the hype about? We already won. Already got it. Already with it. What is the hype about? Already did it. Already seen it. It's already done. What is the hype about? We already won.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, PGC 2022. Once again, we into Group B today. After a little mishap, of course, B, and all of these players gonna have to travel on down the river to try and find a few more points available, as we only had one day so far here played for Group B. Yesterday, we concluded Group A with 8, I should say, moving into the next round in the winners bracket. My name's Kyle Laris, and joining my left-hand side, it's Mr. Vanguard once again.
Yes, that's not the name, but that's sure. If you want to do it that way, we can do that. But yeah, one more extra day of preparation here for Group B, and we're going to be playing back-to-back. I'm really curious to see how that kind of folds out and how it's going to be looking with the teams. Are they going to, different strategies? How are they going to approach it? Or is it just going to be a kind of a repeat of what they expected to do 2 days ago?
Yes, folds out. Are you into origami? Is that something that you... No? Okay, never mind.
I'm not much of an origami guy myself. What about you?
I'm an overview kind of guy. We've got ourselves plenty of games coming at you still here for the tournament as a whole. This was indeed a originally scheduled day, but it would have originally been the 3rd day for Group B. However, that will be tomorrow, so make sure to be back then as well, where we will conclude Group B. And then we got winners, losers, grand finals, grand final. Yep. Cool.
Yeah. And of course, you want to get top 8. We already know our top 8 teams from Group A. We know the cutoff point and insane teams we've had through right there. It's going to be really hard in the winners bracket to get top 8 in that. We're going to be starting the day with 3 Miramar going into Erangel, of course, as well. And yeah, of course, you want to get into that winner bracket. It is so crucial. You don't want to go to the loser bracket, because you're in the loser bracket. You fight for top 8 to get another chance to fight for top 4.
Yes.
To get into the...
There's just so many more chances if you get through to that winners bracket, and that is all important for these teams. They know it is true and tried and tested here for them. Let's take a look at what they accrued in day number 1 as EU United led the charge. And I mean, within EU United, Kickstart led the charge. It was a fantastic performance by them to get things rolling in Group B.
Yeah, they were looking fantastic, of course, as well. Take Me Away Gaming had a good start. Played well on both maps, but again, only 5 games total. With not too big of a sample size in general. But right now, the cutoff point is 17 Gaming with 28 points. Yesterday, we saw the cutoff point ending up being 83 points, but it is also because we had 5 teams above the 115-point mark, and also with a few teams above the 120-point mark. So a lot of sponging in the top, and we're still thinking that our hypothetical cutoff is going to be these 90 points for a soft cutoff, and you're 100% guaranteed, basically, if you get to the 100.
And when we head over to the Desert Expendables, as well as Tyloo, we're looking good in that first day. I'm actually thinking about this as I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm sure we've said all this before, and we did when it came to the day that we had off, unfortunately. But yeah, here we are. 777, of course, his immaculate wipe against BBL. All important. Really started the engine for them. Really started it revving.
Yeah, I love what I saw from 777. Obviously, the way that he played, the way he moved around was crazy, and that is kind of putting in a little bit of a landmark for them. And in general, what we've seen from APAC region, you know, they have, especially in this group as well, they have been able to do so good. And we're missing, you know, a lot of big names still in the top 8, and a lot of things can change still. But Tyloo also able to do quite well for themselves.
Yeah, not too bad at all. As you say, I think the most important thing about Group B right now is that it's a trick of the mind for me. I feel like we're supposed to be further in this group than we are. So only 5 games. There's still a lot to play for here. So there could be quite easily shake-ups. But let's take a look at some of the highlights from all of this. Because as I say, Expendables, as much as, you know, we watched that team wipe go down, I think Expendables were still good in putting themselves in decent positions, decent situations. And for the most part, when we saw BBL coming in from the angle that they did, we were like, well, BBL's got a great potential for the game here. But the nade that we saw come out from 777 and then into the sprays really messes with BBL's understanding of exactly where the angle is they need to cover.
And the 3 first guys, they had absolute 0 chance. And then just a quick 6-bullet spray down on the last player. In general, this was just a masterclass of how to clutch a game and how to win a game here for the Expendables. Double kill onto Wildcard. And then, of course, the win versus Day Trade in the end. And I loved what I saw in general from, of course, Expendables. But again, we have to remember, 1 or 2 good games here is not going to get you steadily through the top 8, as you saw from Group A. Lovely circles, as we've been talking about on Erangel, and I hope that continues. We had a lot of Northeastern circles, both on Erangel and on Miramar for Group A.
Yes.
So let's see if that kind of changes up here once we get into Group B today.
And by the same token, on Miramar, that's kind of what we saw from Tyloo, right? It was pretty steady of a performance from Tyloo. They were getting themselves to these late game scenarios and just some, you know, cheeky shots here and there. A lot of mini usage, just looking for those controlled fights, controlled picks here and there. So good points coming their way to wind themselves up in top 8. But let's take a look at how things in Erangel shaped up, because we've actually had so many great MVP performances. Kickstart was definitely one of them. I would find it hard to even choose which one was my favorite so far.
Yeah, and some of the top performers on Erangel outside the games we've had so far. We only had 3, so we can't really take too much of sample size. So taking some sample size from PCS 7, and I'm looking at FaZe Clan 8.8, 17 Gaming 8.8, Buriam 8.4, and Luminosity 8.7 points per game on all their Erangel games in their PCS 7 respectively.
How was Takeaway Gaming?
Takeaway Gaming did not play PCS 7.
Okay. Don't know why I've called them Takeaway Gaming again, but there we are.
Take me away.
I'm thinking of rating my takeaway. I just want a cheeseburger, guys. But take me away. Yeah, Crazy was looking good alongside them. Again, I feel like another stable, strong roster, especially on Erangel. We watch them constantly getting into those late game scenarios, even though, as I previously mentioned when we were doing this pre-show the first time around, Crazy was a little bit crazy once or twice.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that's a little bit scary is that FaZe have had some really rough games on Miramar on PCS 7, and they have, you know, a little bit of a change that compared to what we know them for. If you look a long time back, they're playing very slow, very edge-heavy, kind of like a Bagopa in Group A. So let's see if they are able to step back into things now that we're playing 3 Miramar today.
FaZe you're on about, right?
Yeah, FaZe.
Okay. And we've got ourselves here. I've got Take Me Away, looking pretty good from all things. I mean, we've already elaborated onto why they look so good on Erangel for the most part.
And a third and a win, right? So in general, just the way they played, the way they were able to kind of push through things. There was, of course, some rougher situations for them, but some of the shots, and of course, Shao here won PGI 2018 with OMG. It's a long time ago.
It really is a long time ago.
Different format as well. Remember, it was like BO8 for the win.
Nuts.
It's crazy.
Did you remember when they how many games did they win on that first day?
It was insane. It was like some of the most consistent. And it was 20 teams. It was 20 teams as well. Like there was so much pressure on bigger circles, different circle sets of course, but there was so much pressure in the circle, and there is so much third party.
You know the funny thing though about that is it was, yes, 2018, but honestly it still feels like a year ago that we were on that stage, you know, doing that tournament, that we had the charity event going on as well.
The aerialists coming down from the roof and stuff.
Yeah, it's so memorable every single time we do them. So yeah, it really doesn't feel like that long ago.
That's something that sticks with you for your lifetime.
That's how you know we're getting old, Martin.
No, that's not true.
88 boys, you know, doing what we can.
Life experience doesn't mean you get old.
United, of course, here really started things off with a bang.
Oh, this one from Kickstart.
Very nicely done. Yeah, you're just watching him kind of go on a bit of a tear, to be honest with you.
Oh, so good. Like, this is actually what this is. It's kind of reversed, right? This is what happened first time. That went on afterwards, after he lost all of his members on his team. But first in kills, 18 and 2,500 damage. If you just had picked him as your captain on your team, imagine if you would have done so. He got 71 fantasy points without the captain pick. You would have had 142 from 5 games. That would have been mental.
You'd have to be a virtuoso of PUBG, I think. If you're not, you know, you just rung under, it's a pretty rough time. But one thing's for sure is that the Americas region has turned up. Man, they turned up. You've got yourself Wildcard here alongside E United as well. You got Yahoo and the other group as well.
Yes.
Let's not talk about Sonics for a moment. But other than that, just great performances all around.
It's the same case here for this group, right?
Yes.
Europe and the other group did super well. And this group here, the best European team is 9th place.
No. EU's number 1, man. We already said it.
That's true.
But there you go.
Some skewered fantasy league as well. Remember, most of the guys here have played 15 games.
Yes.
But still, let's take a look. Where is Kickstart? Oh, he's 18th. A tied 16th place with Seoul after played 5 games. That's pretty impressive. Out of 128 players, you're still tied 16.
So what you're saying is that we're going to see Kickstart probably top 5 at least.
Yeah. If not first place, I would honestly be surprised.
Yeah.
He, at least top 5, yeah, for sure. He's gonna 100% breach into that top 5. And also it depends. I talked a little bit with Trevor. How like they're feeling with the games, and he's like, he has more land jitters than the guys have. You know, he's just getting ready into things here. And this is the talents leaderboard.
Avenger.
Yeah.
What's happened?
You've taken me over because Tickleton before.
Because Tickleton did something last night.
You mispicked a player. You picked a player that was in a hot drop situation, and then he popped up. Then he solo popped off in some of the last games yesterday. But I'm fine. I believe more in my Group B team than I believe in your Group B team. Your Group B team could potentially put you in bottom 3.
Yes, I think there is one consistency here, actually, now that I look at it.
Sam and Matchroom at the bottom?
Just Matchroom, actually,
just Matchroom,
was what I was going to hit on.
Yeah,
He's, you know, usually last and continues to be, and probably will continue to be, I think, right?
More than 150 point ahead of him.
He's not here, he can't do anything. But of course we have events going on during PGC as well here held in Dubai, and there'll be pre-stage events taking place in various Dubai landmarks, which is all exciting. So you can actually head to those if you're here in Dubai. This is the Dubai Festival Mall, where the event zone is today and tomorrow. Well, actually, I think it was yesterday and today.
Yeah.
But there you go. Just like PNC as well. You know, we had that going on. And it was a great way of getting involved.
Super cool.
And there'll also be something going on at La Mer.
La Mer Beach.
Why did you do an Italian accent?
I don't know. That's the best. That's the best beach action I can do, I guess.
Why it's French, guys, but it is here in Dubai. That's a great way to start things off. You guys at home as well, you can be involved in the Pick'em Challenge that's going on in-game. You can pick the winner as well as the regional head-to-heads that you can also pick for some glorious EP.
Yeah, they've been mixed and matched quite nicely. Some of them is like super heavy, like, you know, 80 to 90% people have picked one team, and of course they've gone on to dominate a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, and you always love these, like the fantasy, the pick'em, all of this. And make sure you're ready to pick some of these coupon codes up if you already wrote it. Make sure you have some, and maybe at least a few ready once you know who's going to be going into the grand final.
Yeah,
which
you can delay it.
We know already on Wednesday, we're going to know half of the grand final teams after winter break.
Yes, we are.
Quite soon already,
To be honest, there's some big names from Group A that I'm already expecting to do well in the winners bracket, right? You could even theorize some of those names already that are going to be actually moving on forward. So yeah, the pick'em challenges are on the way. We also have the bingo as well as Twitch drops that are going on. If you're tuning in on Twitch, which, you know, since you're listening to us, you may be doing so already. And you may have already gathered yourself quite a few Twitch drops, so excellent stuff.
And some EP. Continue to rack that up so you can buy all of it, of course. There's the shop in there. You should go check it out inside the esports tab right there. But the bingo, that'd be good. Play against random guys, try to get some of that EP.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
That's right. That's it.
That's right. That's right. So, looking forwards into today, here are our currently top 5 pick'ems in game. Again, you can wait. As much as there has been a 50% almost participation rate to go towards New Happy, so far, they weren't #1, so it could quite easily change from our current world champions.
Yeah, Petrica Road also second most picked right now, and they're not even in the top 8 here for Group B, so that's obviously super interesting. You might be able to, you know, grab another of those coupons in case you've picked the teams that are maybe not going to the winners bracket.
All right, well, I am getting word that we are ready to head over to the game to start things off. I really wanted to actually talk a little bit more about Miramar, but anyway, we've done our janitorial work here. Let's head over to the commentator team as it's Poro and Toby. They're going to fly away.
Thank you so much, James and Martin. Great job on the desk as always. I'm here, Toby, joined by Poro, and we have got 5 games today, followed by another 5 tomorrow for Group B to find the final 8 to make their way through to the winners bracket. And oh my lord, are we in for a treat if Group A is anything to go by?
Yes, indeed. And obviously we had to sit around and wait a little bit for this day to come finally, which means that these guys have had plenty of time to sit around and think and theory craft about how to fix whatever may have been going wrong on day 1. Now, does that impact the teams that everything was going right? Well, let's see.
One thing's for sure, even though you might be sitting up at the top of the leaderboard right now, looking at some of the teams that had more of a quiet day 1, there are some teams sitting down there who I do not expect to sit around in the bottom 8 by the end of, well, hell, even today. Especially not by the end of the 10 games we've still got to play. You've got your FaZe Clan, you've got your Petrico. Maybe Polish Power can get something going. Not a guarantee on my part, but you got your Gen G, a team that's fared well in the past as well. BBL, and then of course EMA winners ? I mean, that's all bottom 8 teams.
That's true.
I didn't mention a lot of EU teams.
You did, didn't you? That's crazy how there's so many EU teams down there right now.
But it's not over yet. It's not over yet.
I mean, there's a lot of North American teams in the top 8 right now, and you know, fingers crossed. I mean, things were looking really good, obviously, for United, and as the day progressed, things got looking better for Wildcard as well. And then,
oh man. You don't have to talk more, Poro. It's all right, because we're headed into game.
We're ready to go into game.
We are headed on into game.
They're pumped behind us. Can you hear them yelling?
The players are excited. Of course, again, they did miss out on a day of games, but they will get all their games to play. We're here, match number 6 for Group B, and I am hella excited to finally get back into the action.
Oh, my goodness. It's been so long, Toby, and now we get to come right in. Some Miramar. Plane going right across the middle of the map. Oh, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be
almost as if, I mean, that was one of the hardest things for this group on their first day was, can we just have a decent plane path for once? Right. That didn't really happen throughout the entire first day, and now fortunately, I mean, again, unless if you're a hard committed Porto Paraíso team, you might not liking this one too much, but overall, it's looking pretty good.
You love rolling those R's, don't you? You really like. I can't do that. I'm gonna just let you do it while we look at LG, FaZe, and Day Trade. Day Trade really popping off. I'm actually, you know, one of the biggest stories so far for these group stages to me has been APAC, man. I mean, obviously, you know, we've talked about them in the past being a whole bunch of teams that we really expected to do well, but now they're finally doing it, and that's the greatest thing here is Martin Core.
There's a tag, there's a headshot! That's a headshot! Finds him! We see the 15 damage tag, a headshot to follow, and Korn spraying on through, getting the knock on Noadra. Wow, imagine being Noadra right now. You miss out on a day, you gotta sit around, and now just about I don't even know. 1 minute and
He's
20
gonna get
seconds
rezzed.
into the game.
He's getting rezzed.
Edie, do you commit to it? And even if Corn is out of ammo, that
He's out
is.
of
Oh,
ammo.
and then he's
There
got
was the
3x.
scope right behind
It's
him.
always how it is.
Oh.
That's when, like when you're done shooting, that is when you see the 3x.
Oh no.
So, Corn, damage done. Mini found now as well.
Oh.
Can they get the rest and get back into the car in time for Donuts? This would be absolutely insane. He's going to jump up. They're in the car. Shots being fired, and he takes him down again. This time around, there should be no rescue coming through. Edie is going to commit to it. He's got no loot. He's got no smokes. I'm looking towards the rest of the Donuts players. They might as well just pull up on this.
9 rounds.
Well, tire popped, so
Oh my
escape is going to
God.
be a little more difficult, but credit where credit's due. Edie
Just
doing
don't
everything
get
he
in the
can to
car.
get them to stay alive here. Americano now, though, pulling up on this. No Vest does have a 3x SLR, though. For USG, currently sitting in the bottom of the leaderboard, they want all the points they can get, and well, unfortunately, they ain't going to get none, but oh my lord, do they leave Burram with a scare.
Oh, what a way to start the day. Well,
What
we
a
haven't
way.
even gotten a chance to talk about the circle, Toby.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's awesome. What are you talking about?
Well, I
It's
mean,
going
depends on the
all way.
perspective. Depends on the perspective, I suppose we could...
All the way to the northeast as Americano just takes a few more in the back.
Burram just
Burger
cannot
Ram
catch
just,
a break.
I mean, they, what do you mean they can't catch it? They're gone.
They-
They're out.
na-
They're
na- well,
4
now-
up. They're
now.
vibing. They're feeling fantastic right now.
Now they are just fine. E-United jumping over towards them, and we do have an interview ready, so let's listen in and see what our dear and beloved Kickstart has to say.
It's good to be back. I didn't play very well at PNC, and I'm glad that I made a good performance today, and I hope I keep it up because it was a lot of fun. Anyone can play well a certain day. It's more about consistency, and if you can't play very well multiple days in a row, then it doesn't really matter if you play well one day. So looking to keep playing well. In Game 4, we just had a minor mistake fighting 17, and I think if we didn't have that small mistake, then we would have played very well in the Game 4 as well. But I'm definitely very happy with how we performed today. I think we played very confident today in certain situations, and I think as long as we continue that and play our own game and not worry about anyone else, then I think we'll be fine. So nothing new, just play our game. Fighting!
Oh, I love Kickstart, man.
He's a nice guy.
He's the best, and I can tell you one thing for sure. Like those very cookie cutter answers. He's saying exactly what you want to hear.
Of course.
Him to say, but after talking to him a little bit, he's not one of those. He's not one of those people to ever be really like completely pleased with his performance. As we see, AZ not playing for Petrichor Road this time.
Yep.
Instead, it's going to be Mill, and you had a little bit more info on that, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to the team coming into what would have been their day 2, and as they were saying, the coach of the team told me that they were expecting to be hot dropped, in which case they thought ASAP would do a better performance than Mill, so they were having him play the day. Then it turned out they weren't being hot dropped at all, and now Mill is back in the action. A player who I think, when talking about the likes of Petrichor, even though. Actually finds Lewis. Even though, just to finish my thought, Egg Slipped is kind of the name on everyone's lips when mentioning Petrichor. Mill is up there with him, so good for him to be back on the run. And also a quick update on 17 Gaming. Xiaobei has still yet to make landfall in Dubai, so Sushu is playing.
There you go. Well, good intel, good information as Tai Lu now trading a few shots with Wildcard. This is in the far north, just south of Tori, just north of Krudavae. And it looks like Tai Lu was maybe in a little bit of a 2-2 split here as Wildcard pulled in. Wildcard had thoughts of stopping down and maybe taking this fight, but they don't really need to. They've got plenty of room, they can move, and it's still quite early on, so no real harm in that.
I'm
TMA
seeing
and
Nubs
Gen
going
G.
in favor of Gen G, but it's actually, I mean,
Pozo.
it happens off screen, but it's actually taking away.
Oh
Find one more. It's actually TMA who set up a rotation camp onto Gen G, and that has clearly gone completely sideways. They were there, they were ready. Gen G pulls up, well, and Gen G puts them down.
Wow. TMA, one of the big stories from our first day of play. A team that didn't, it's kind of a lot of players that have been around for a very, very long time. Guys that we've known from 4 a.m. from who else was it? COC, a couple of other squads that we've known that have just been around for a very long time that kind of came together at the last minute and had a really good day on day one. But this is rough. I mean, great for Gen G though.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Obviously,
a team that definitely needed to get things going. They didn't look like their former self on the first day of Group B here. So even though, again, probably not the way they were expecting to get that first three kills of the game, they will definitely take them. And interesting with Take Me Away Gaming as well. Let's hold that thought for us. Nope, no address in a car. You probably didn't even hear.
They'll be fine.
There's a lot of overlaps on rotations today. I think it's, I mean,
Sure
obviously a northeast circle with a lot of teams jumping south. There are only so many, I guess, pathways to the north of this one, but a lot of teams overlapping here in situations where on Miramar in the previous matches they had, it looked a little more clean.
It's all right there by El Azhar too. It's all the it's the funnel of teams that are making their rotations in from the dead south. This is pretty much where you got to go. You're gonna all pass by here at some point. BBL, they saw getting a little bit close. Yeah, they. No. At least they saw them before they got any closer. So, but this actually might. We'll have to see what they decide to do from here because you've got two options. If you don't want to go that direction, you have to go through either El Azhar or go out west and take that road. Well, Petrichor Road is actually kind of in a split on that road off to the west, so we'll keep an eye on that as we see LG. Pretty free rotation on the beach side.
It's looking all right again. I mean, now we know from what we've just seen how clustered it is up towards El Azhar, so their timing really couldn't be better. They're going to be hitting the circle a little before the new one's going to pop, so I'm not expecting to see them try and go too far in by the time of it. And actually, you know what? Let me turn that around. What I just said is actually Gen G who was sitting ready and waiting. This makes a lot more sense because I only saw it once the fight had started, and that's all of Gen G out in the car against Dynonics, but Dynonics able to get the first two, and that's, I mean, really all you need. The rest of the players, they're already waiting, so it was actually Dynonics who was the one waiting.
Sonics fans having PTSD on that one. That was, that's an Anonix special.
I don't know what you're referring to. Would you care to elaborate, Faro?
Check your VODs. Well, it's not recent. That's for sure. And well worth it too.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal.
You gotta respect the guy for coming in as a sub and making the absolute most of his opportunities presented, and you can tell he's just playing with reckless abandon, and he's hitting shots, and the team is playing really well around him as well, which is why they're all the way up there in 4th place right now with eyes on first. We'll see if they can do anything here in this game number 1 now that they've already lost one. And look at this, Alo maybe looking for a little bit of revenge here for Luminosity.
They have Penta nearby. Luke on the rotation as well. Yet Alo not opting to take the shots here. Of course, was somewhat out in the open. And actually now, because of it, 777 turns around, shoots towards him, but Penta there to assist, fortunately able to get over the ridgeline just in time, and now they know for a fact that they have a Expendables player stuck behind this shack, and you can see this Ninja trying to come up to help out, but it's United on the other side, forcing him back down. The Americas teams working in tandem here to deal with one of the top threats so far.
Oh, United. Their shots are on right now. They're landing these long-range shots, and it's helping out LG tremendously here. They should be able to get this flush onto 7-7. Oh, there you go. Penta making sure that nobody's going to steal that point away as LG. They do lose one, but they had themselves a pretty decent day, top 8 worthy, but they were not at all satisfied. I went over and talked to them after the day was over. Gunnar, their coach, was just like, "Don't tell them that they did well. Don't be nice to them. They know they played horrible." So, you know, that's
regardless of how well they did.
Well, yeah, that's always the vibe around that team. High expectations for the LG boys, and so far, not doing too bad. We'll see if they can put it together today.
Seems to look in the way of Expendables. Dr. Hughes does manage to find one, though. I'm not sure that's going to make them try and go for an aggressive play again. They did lose Lewis early. They lost 7-7-7 just before now. Kind of stuck in a compound in the hard eastern side of this one. I think before you make an aggressive play here, just wait out this one, see where the next circle goes. Should it shift towards the east, you might as well just stick around.
Yeah, LG should be able to get that res pretty clear. And yep.
Well,
Expendables going to use that opportunity to hop in the vehicles and make their move. Now the new circle has pop. We're going up to the northeast. So only a few teams going to have to move, i.e. FaZe, Day Trade. Maybe Azahar 17 might want to look for something new.
Allow me to question the rotation from Expendables.
No.
They have the compound. They're inside the circle. Sure, it might not be the best spot, but it's playable. I know you have a team kind of looming over the ridgeline, but do they leave Longhouse just to potentially play a shack here? This is a bit of a head scratcher to me.
Well, now it is all up to Ninja 2K to decide where to play as that solo. As you see Petrichor Road making their way through, getting very close. Getting a lot of bullets sent their way by Buriram, USG Donuts, E-United probably about to get them in line of sight as well, but somehow Petrichor Road making it through.
Yeah, full speed forward they go, trying to get their way safely inside the circle. Mill, fortunately, won't quite make it then. To be honest, when you're hard sending it towards the center of the circle, the fact that they get to keep 3 alive, you know, I might have talked too soon, as Long got knocked here as well. Oh, perfect angle from Rihanna as well. They lose 2. That's more, I mean, even then, when you send it center like that, the fact that you lose 2 might actually still be kind of fortunate.
Yeah, that was definitely ambitious on the part of Petrichor Road, thinking they could cross that, but you know, like you said, they got 2 through. But Mill, hey, welcome to the lobby. As Chexing as I will pronounce his name correctly today. No more Cheese King.
I did like
my
Cheese
dyslexia. King. I have fought it. I have practiced, and I will make sure that he will now be Chexing for the rest of this tournament. Mukau going to get shot at from long range by Anonix, but looks like he should be able to duck it back down.
Yeah, crucial suppression fire coming in from Anonix there, because he did have Renba. Like the wide split edge team, but whenever they came into up close fight, either half the team wasn't there and ready, kind of similar to what we're seeing right now. Ada is here, Anonix is here, but because they're so split, Asura and Anonix ain't here in time. Renba is the one up close. They need to take this fight. They need to be better and faster to kind of regroup here.
Good little reposition by Wildcard as they continue to start throwing grenades over, but unfortunately the terrain just not good enough. They're sending them a little bit too long. Gen.G hasn't gone for the res just yet. They're going to watch Adam come by. He's going to fall into a grenade from Asura. Nicely placed now as 2 down from each side, and now the third party coming in from Tyloo.
Tyloo, they were doing this all on day 1 as well. So good at finding opportunities for a third party from a distance where they risk little to nothing of their own. Richard now peeking on forward. It's actually going to be CC to find the first one. Asura does get one traded instantly in return, and now just Anonix left headshot though comes through as Anonix pushes further forward, finds
1v1.
Just one more left to find. Nico's assist master of day number 1 and stays alive here as well. Gen.G out in 16th.
Getting a little bit of assist from long range there is Wildcard, but they'll now have time to stop down, heal everybody back up, and that's 4 points in the bag for Wildcard. Not a bad way to start things here, as they now have to, once they reset, will have to go a little bit of a ways here to get inside circle. See Petrichor Road already back on the move again with the 2 that they have left.
Yeah, they know that with the circle shifting towards the west side of the rope there's going to be so many teams coming their way, and they can't sit around and wait for them. Might as well try and go center to one of those spots that you don't expect a whole lot of teams to play around, to expect a whole lot of teams to look towards, and hope that you can either get a third-party opportunity or maybe just grind some placement points.
A little bit of a hang-up here on the south side for FaZe. They still have 4 up, but they ran into an entrenched BBL. Trying to see if they can maybe take a few shots. They can probably avoid this and get into circle. BBL do, I think, need to move. Well, parts of the compound are still in, but they are on the very, very edge of the circle here. As we cut back to LG, trying to fight their way in on that southeastern side. Now they have United off to their north, 17 off to their south, but they should be able to make their way into just the very edge of the circle and still maintain high ground.
Do they pull up on Ninja here? I don't think they have any clue that he's actually already swapping over to the Nate, ready and waiting for them. Nate will be thrown forward. Maybe that's going to give them the info that there is indeed a team nearby. Of course, they can't see where it came from, so no guarantees thus far.
I think Ninja, I mean, that was definitely some fear utility being used right there, but I think he maybe now realizing that they're just gonna hang out in that dip over there, and he can just hold on to it for the time being. Now wild card, they're gonna lose Greg Shot in rotation. Adam and Nico still alive. Waikikamu following up on that bike, so they should be able to keep those 3 guys up. Meanwhile, BBL and FaZe, this fight's still going on.
Yeah, it's a huge fight too, because whoever wins this fight, depending on what Daytrade ends up doing, if they opt to third party this, whoever wins this will have so much space towards the southwest. FaZe, knowing of course that they have to take it aggressive towards BBL, and BBL wanting to get back to the compound, but they ain't fast enough. Code Marco, first to fall.
Now Polish Power have a sight on to FaZe as well. The smoke wall being laid down. They may be able to go for reses being in there from BBL. As you can see, USG Donuts off in the distance as well, trying to take shots onto this, but they've got a target-rich trade and Buriram just off to their side. This is all going on just barely off to the east of this FaZe BBL fight.
The fact that we have this type of circle with so much open terrain and still got .48alive. That is pretty insane to me. Goes to show that these guys, they're in it for the long haul. They know how few points could make the difference whether you make it or not. So don't go over aggressive. Try and play it smart. Try and play it safe. And get yourself further into the game.
Well, the Expendables does get eliminated by a well-placed grenade from 17. As you can see, a little bit of a scrap breaking down there on the southeast. As 17 trying to push up, they run into LG, but look at the kickstart flood from
Power, but here comes Gustav exactly as expected. They see that there's a knock on Polish Power. That's going to force them to make the move on forward.
Had to make the move eventually, but unfortunately for them, Cappy more than up to the task. Immediately looks over an immediate knock-in flush onto Diggory, but Gustav gets a little bit closer before they notice one's down. He's going to take out the second one. Is 8C doing work from long range here. Now Polish Power down to just 2. Gustav, no utility left in Polish Power. They still have got pockets full as now Gustav taking damage from the blue zone, and he is going to go down.
Yep, face full. Day Trade in the end do push over. Backstep them. 8C goes down, and so does Gustav. But so much damage done towards Polish Power, who will lose 3 as a result of it. So Marsalik, despite being the one that was initially knocked, is going to be the lone survivor of Polish Power.
And he is creeping a little bit close to USG right now, and that might finally be, yep, there it is. USG finally getting their first kills as they have just been hanging out in that compound this entire time. No reason to move, but unfortunately for them, everybody can avoid their line of sight. So it's the compound curse, Toby. We talk about it all the time.
Question mark trying to make a play here, but it's going to be hard with where they are. Tyloo finds the first to a doozy. One hit should do it before he's going to go down. Got the entirety. Got the remaining 2 players of 17 on the other. Time, Day Trade again spreading out, taking control. Xiaoyang will find the first. Americano there to steal it. But Belmouth, I mean, if Xiaowood doesn't go down before they get up there, you'd have to imagine, and that's a free kill for Day Trade.
Day Trade just recollecting themselves, somehow surviving, being the one. Saw his feet through his scope. I mean,
you know what, maybe
his Corn maybe is trying to be this flanker and he doesn't want to take shots, but he just took shots at Tyloo.
Yeah, I mean, if he's trying to get into good off-angle position, no reason to give up that
he might have just
intel early on. That was interesting. Xiaoyang peeks on over, great timing from Norens. Not going in their favor. CC takes down Flash. Now 1 more to fall. I like the idea, I like the setup, but the execution. PGC 2022, but you do have 2, and they're both on donuts.
You got to imagine Tyloo's got. I mean, there's a
solid to work with as well, and of course, level 3 can an MK in hand is not exactly the worst setup here either.
Well, I'd love to see is I'd love to see Tyloo use these smokes offensively and kind of force Donuts out of their spot.
Shiva's position could be absolutely crucial. Peeks on over, finds the first one, can't find the second, and Xiao Tong gets one in return.
Good trade though. And now USG immediately following up, kind of has a grenade in hand. It's going to fall a little bit long as they immediately go. Oh, good shots from Americano. We're going to find Xiaoyang. The res does come through onto CC 108. Kind of thinking about going for it here onto Shiva, but not pulling it off just yet. Now the push is coming through, and now Tongs is going down, and USG Donuts taking control over the late game.
They're using each other as made absolutely perfectly. Issue CC is there. He's still alive. It's a 2v2 still with Sia on the other side. I'm not sure they're aware that Sia is pushing up from behind now. It's a 2v1. Sia should have the perfect bag angle, and there you have it. Tyloo. 13 kills and a win. They came in today second most points on Miram on day 1, and they just netted themselves another 23.
Absolutely clean late game stuff from Tyloo. As they had Donuts running in circles, they had no idea, as you said, I mean, they had no clue that Sia was there. Americano just got completely roasted from behind without ever knowing who shot him.
I like the idea of what they were trying to do. Not use each other as bait per se, but play off of each other's angles. Try and always have that spoiler player. Execution, though, on the side of Donuts too slow. But then again, when you're going up against the super hot Tyloo, who's already at that point in the game been rotating, been fragging out, you can't really fault them.
No, absolutely not. A stack of kills for Tyloo and a nice win to go along with it. Donuts, well, they had the compound. They got second. They got a few kills to go along, but they are left to wonder what could have been. Well, let's throw it over to the analyst desk to hear what they have to say about game number 1.
A great one coming in from Tyloo. Thank you, boys. That is them getting yet another great performance on Miramar, very much out of the way, and nobody's able to dispatch of them. CC putting in huge work at the very end. I have Avant-Garde next to me here to talk about this game. What do you think, Avenger?
Overall, some scrappy early fights. Rival at that point, but yeah, Tyloo, they had a fantastic end towards that. I'm kind of sad for Donuts, honestly, though.
Yeah,
they pushed in, they had a kind of a good fight towards the end with Tyloo, but just in a position where you're in a shack and you're able to take 2 members down just like that, and then one of the other teammates is on a huge rotation kind of around it, just the third party, or well, backstab him basically. Day trade, and you know, in general, I hate this area. It's so much open terrain. It's until you get onto this late game here where we see Donuts and Tyloo fight, it's just so much open terrain and there's not so much cover. You need to drive everywhere. And also Rello managed to snake a good placement. I love that Donuts left him alone to try to leave him as a potential spoiler to one of the teams that are overplaying over there.
Especially when some of the area that you're talking about is like low ground, and there's teams looking down on you. It's like, what am I supposed to do here?
Nothing.
It's open, there's no rocks, there's no nothing.
You can't do anything. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult here, but CC absolutely popping for Tyloo towards the end, as previously mentioned. Really big performance. And again, that is like a huge victory for them here, because they take game number 1 of the day. It's Tyloo with the chicken dinner. But look.
Oh, 16 teams playing. Yeah, for sure. Points in a single game here. 23 points for Tyloo, 2,000 damage. Look at all the utility they also committed to the fights throughout. 10 stun grenades, 12 grenades in general. A good game for that. United, though, able to salvage a really, really bad game into a top 3, which gets you 5 points and a kill with that as well. So that's 6 points for a complete game that should have been, you know, 1.2 points for them.
Looking at this does make you wonder how much USG was working with utility-wise, even gear-wise. They were in this compound for quite a long time, not really getting a lot of kills off the back of it. And, you know, when that's not happening, you're not really trading out, getting to body boxes, picking up more, etc.
They had to focus on defending kind of the west side so nobody else came up behind them. Right, they had to be the last team getting out of the compound, otherwise they're going to be having a rough time. But yeah, there are so many other fights around and close to them that they didn't really have that many opportunities. Day Trade as well, they had a really unfortunate fight that actually ended up them losing it and getting fourth. They were looking really good, but then a few utilities here and there and a few knocks, unfortunately, going their way. Then they go out in fourth, and yeah, they had a good, as you see, good rotation, big rotation, a lot of reactive movement for them throughout here. 35,000 meters for all the 4 team members combined here. But yeah, Tyloo definitely cleaned up Day Trade quite nicely. And then Korn here, he saw him. And the Castle were talking about it. It was like, we're going to leave him there. We're going to leave him as a potential spoiler. Kind of use him as the 5th team member on Donuts. But they had to get rid of him so he didn't spoil them themselves.
Do you fancy talking about Korn a little bit more? Because I really want to talk about Korn a little bit more.
The food or the player?
Definitely not the food. Well, I want to see more pop-off moments from that man. Good old kickstart. But even across the board here, there are lots of opportunities to pop off. We've even seen Snakers being able to get himself some pretty impressive kill numbers from day number 1 as well.
And damage too.
Yeah. Yes, very nicely done. All right, well, time to head over to the commentators once again here for the Desert Miramar time here for game number 7 of Group B. Thank you so much, James and Martin. For the great breakdown of what was game number 6. Now we're headed on over to Miramar once more, Poro, for yet another seemingly fair plane.
Fair planes abound. They're not
starting to get back into it, but they can find kills too.
Rejoice! CC108, your leader, is in the building as we check in with Yuppie and me away gaming on in with Gen G.
That is putting it very, very kindly.
It will, yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. But, you know, we saw them have most of their points, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, most of their points were on Erangel anyway.
Yeah.
So, Miramar, a little bit of a slow start for them, but
I'm not going to say anything.
That's helpful.
This is a good circle for them, a good circle for many, maybe a good circle for me. We will see. As
it's too far west, you freak. It's not going to happen.
Don't. You can't.
Just stop.
You know what? I'm always gonna pray. It's one of the only circles that I'm missing on my gotta catch him all day number 1.
我觉得经济对我们的威胁比较大吧。因为经济跟我们的沙漠图跳点有点冲突，然后后续我们会在这方面做战术调整，就像今天一样，发挥稳定一点就行了。
I do kind of wish they had played that interview right after GG killed 3 of them, because Keevan interview is a couple of days old.
He was right on, wasn't he?
This was not regret. We tend to run into them, and oh my lord, did they run into them in the previous game.
Yeah, well, fortunately for them, this time, completely opposite sides on the map in the early game, so they should not be running into them, well, anytime soon anyway. We'll see where they decide to post up around Impala here as the circle, or as the early out.
Them to Relo leaves, Kickstart leaves, the damage has been done. But as you're saying, Snakers, if you ever want to have a player be used as bait, that is gonna be one of the best bait plays I've ever seen.
Holy moly! Just about everything that could go wrong did go wrong on that crash for United, and now Kickstart gonna get spotted out by. Now nobody really finishing him off though. Relo is within range, but I think USG is just looking to see if maybe they can catch Relo as well.
Now, I'm not gonna go out here and say it. Hold that thought for a second.
Oh.
I'm not gonna go out here and say, and this is all happening because you took Kickstart as your captain coming into today. But I think it's because you took Kickstart as your captain on your fantasy team that all of a sudden they're in shambles.
Well, it's 2 games, man. It's fine. It's fine. And plus, I didn't tell him that I took him as my captain. I told him that I still had show.
But the PUBG gods know. The PUBG gods know.
There you go. Wild card. The bad luck is game.
Circle. We have seen them be one of those teams that aggressively try to play center with, well, little to no gain. But this time around, they kept their cool. They stayed edge. They did get overrun in the end of it, but valid attempt and valid effort considering how their first day went.
Another team that had a decent first game as well, QM. Saw them jump up a little bit. As of our European teams. We mentioned it at the beginning of the day, starting on the side of the leaderboard, but through at least one game, looking like maybe the ship is righted as we see Petrichor Road. Well, that's not where we expected to see them at all. 16th place has just been rough.
This is probably the most surprising. I mean, again, we're only 6 games in, so we can't take too much from it. But this is arguably the biggest upset of the tournament to me so far. The fact that Petrichor is this far down the leaderboard. I'm not asking that to remain this way.
Yeah.
But even then, even now, knowing how capable they are, knowing how talented they are, for them to sit at 13 points in 6 games. Oh, let's see if Polish Power, I mean, they were fighting the first couple. Now, oh, that's unfortunate, and there you have it. Adam out, Waikiki 180, trying to leave, but
Orcus will flush out Adam, and that will be another point. It's 3 points now for Polish Power, all off of wildcard, yeah. So Waikiki just heading off north.
This is not a bad play by Polish Power either. They find the first 2, they see the last 2 wrap north around.
Yeah.
They say, you know what? If they're going north on this one and the circle is where it is, they're coming back. Attempted, which, as you can see, was very... So, great effort, nice understanding of the situation. What 3 kills to start things off.
Now we have one very...
Nikos is not... This was never a camp. They saw it from behind and they'd 180 and then just come back and run them over. He ran him over. I saw it. In the car.
Maybe a little.
Sometimes the games go your way, sometimes they don't. We talked on day 1 about testing your mental. Stuff their mental. We'll see how they bounce back after this.
Definitely a mental test as they quickly remove the F keys from their keyboard. Checking in with Jen. Very wide.
Oh, that's what. Oh!
Now Crazy gonna try to come in. He's gonna go down to Juck Juice as TE are just cleaning up the final members of TMA. Lulu always Xiaohai. Where are they? As a TMA just kind of trickling.
Not imagine they do circle. Unfortunately, they're still in it, so not really too much to worry about. 777 does get back on his feet. Xiaohai now here as well. Lewis will pull up though, so it's going to be a 2v3.
Shotty. There we go. Orn with 2 HP remaining. See what in Lil is here. What is going on? Everybody collapsing on each other.
I was gonna say where there's an opposing team nearby. Shiva, Naden, handle ups on the backside. Actually, you know what? I think he's going for the car coming in. He's not necessarily.
Oh, and here from Shiva. That's just yet. He's just listening for the footsteps as Lil Ghost just holding that hard angle.
Trying to apply some suppressive fire, maybe allowing for Shiva to get back off the wall of the building there. But it's not going to be an easy run, because if he runs anywhere on the left side, they're going to be... Maybe they'll be able to stay alive for a little while longer. Back towards Expendables versus Take Me Away Gaming. 4v2. Xiaohai, though, shotgun in hand. And once those are in play, Poro, you never really know what the outcome's going to be.
You really don't. That's why the Expendables are taking their time with this one. They want to take it slow. They've already got 4 kills. They do not want to take the risk of pushing into this building. These concretes are so hard to push. And you just don't want to take that risk of getting one pumped and then immediately flushed.
That's unfortunate flashbang. Fortunately, no one peeked off of it. And now, back into the cast they go. Seems to me like they might not want to sit around here for much longer. Again, we are going to shift away eventually from the unplayables on the west side. We are going to shift away from the water. So this next circle could be very telling of where the end game is going to be taking us. FaZe, Gen G fighting one another with a little bit of help coming through from Daytrade now as well. FaZe have been trying to set up camps on their opponents on the side of them. Xiaohai misses one. Does get it second time around though, but this is just, I mean, collateral damage.
But this is exactly what I was saying, that they wanted to avoid. I mean, they get 777, just go.
Close, but no cigar. Donuts, well, they've had enough of this one as well. They want to get the buildings to themselves. It's a straight up 4v4. They do have Little Goes knocked, so I understand that they're pushing forward now. But as you can see here, these buildings are so damn difficult. So to get up.
Over.
Knocks that we need in order for LG to push on. Good position to play from. Now the circle favors them as well. So even though Purdy's looking this direction, maybe for a couple of free flushes, I could not imagine LG pushing through this one. But look at how many teams now comes in from the north. Petrichor rotating through. They're maintaining the split of Tai Lu while doing so as well.
Yeah, you can see Purdy Curdy already rushing back to the rest of the squad. I think everything's going to be popping off on the north side here. Petrichor Road going through that wide open field. Now they do have Buriram just off to their east, but no jousting going on just yet. Fortunately for Petrichor, they were able to get through that Tyloo roadblock, and USG and 17 busy, caught up amongst themselves, weren't able to do any gatekeeping of their own. So somehow 17 actually getting this res.
Yeah, able to get one up, able to get over to the other side. Get the res on. Sure, even though they did go
dirty little shot there onto Anonix. Gotta give a shout to Expendables to keep that third party from crashing on. So Ninja 2K had to pull up just short. So USG while still in the middle of this fight.
And now we saw the elimination of Gen G. Once again, I guess I said before, we saw it on day one phase, both successfully and attempting. Just wonder if Lewis has hurt it. Even if he hasn't, he's just been shot up by one of his teammates. So
sneaky lad. But Levi's
so sneaky.
Oh, he actually got him too. So Ducks, there you go. Waikakamukau gets spotted out somehow. You can see there. DAC 108 gonna find a few shots in the side closed.
Fortunate for Wildcard it was on Miramar. They really got things going on day one, but so far this one not really been the case. Of course, again, quick bounce back. They'll be ready for the next one coming up. And Donuts ain't gonna wait no more. Forward they come, flash thrown through. That's not gonna hit the Americano though.
Well, these long buildings, Toby, they're so hard to push. You're gonna go down as corner Americano was mushed out. Ghost. Shiva will find Xiao Wu. Shiva gonna go down to Little Ghost as now it's down to 2v2. I believe Korn and Kine are the last two alive for USG. It's out 6 kills for USG though. Show the last one alive for 17.
Donuts playing this one well, but unfortunately here comes Expendables as well. They've already got kills. They're well warmed up in this one. Levi's trying to find one. Unfortunately, the nade doesn't go through. As you said, they want a piece of it too. Korn finds one. Doesn't get the second. No, he doesn't. Donuts out. But a valiant effort. They find 6 kills. So with how much action they've been seeing in the first 17 minutes of this one, you can't really fault them for dying here.
Show still alive here as well. The Expendables, I'm not sure if they are fully aware that there's still a solo snake up in this building. But either way, they've got to get their res, they've got to get their loot, they've got to get into this next zone. As question mark, they looked like they may have been considering it, but they end up pulling into the middle of the circle. They find the crates, and we'll be able to get all 4 in. Yep, looks like they will.
While I absolutely hate the place they've ended up, when you look at the map and go, well, where else could they have gone? There ain't really a whole lot to pick and choose. Turtle down at least for a little while longer, but they avoid all the commotion on the edge. And the end show will fall as well. 17 Gaming, 11th place, and now Expendables up to 10 kills already at the 18-minute mark.
And that's and 777 has already been taken out. So look at this, Levi's Duck Shoes.
You were talking about 777?
Slack.
We can do it as well. It's not just a one-man show.
Boy, these Expendables, they have come in here with a chip on their prove, and man, they are getting it done. FaZe, meanwhile, have had complete control over the South. Nobody near them for quite some time now. They have been kind of taking these long-range shots over towards Day Trade. Luminosity still not in the circle. They're still kind of on the compound, but they have a foothold. They have, looks like they were just kind of waiting for the Expendables to make their move.
Because they've been so active, FaZe, and look at the amount of space. After Gen G goes out, I mean, FaZe has literally got half the circle to themselves, if you don't count Norrens, who is sitting, like, throning down in front of Tyloo, though. Now, yet another team to run into Expendables. They've dealt with quite a few thus far. We'll see if Duck Shoes can find one behind the van there.
And look at the Polish power now right behind Tyloo as well. This is not looking great for Tyloo, as they have the smoke walls down, but the happy feet have to be on display. Duck Shoes will find Xiao Tong, and he's going to go down. Not likely to get rezzed here, as Marcelic has a few more utility to throw over this direction. CC 108. Oh.
Straight through with the utility being used. They are just on the edge of the circle. New one's going to go up towards the buildings as well. Now is when I want to see Cabby go up and help the team out. They have a perfect third-party opportunity, but they cannot fully commit to it with Cabby still south. I know that he wants to prevent the flank, potentially from FaZe, to come around the north side when the fight commences. But be closer to your teammates. Be down there, help them out, then you can turn around if need be, because you'll hear those cars, you'll see those players way before they are able to take shots at you. I like the idea of the contain, but now it's not the time.
Yeah. I mean, once that circle pop, he's been still bleeding. It is looking like is probably going to come to an end fairly soon.
Are they going to fortify Cappy's position and try and backfill on FaZe Clan in this? Or are they just going to go into the fields? I mean, with where Burram is positioned, there should be no way they come in from the east. They might actually be looking to try and backfill on FaZe. If they can force FaZe into day trade, that might be a perfect situation for them. Lewis, though, finds one more, taking up where they ended up just before. One more to deal with, and there you have it. All of them down. 13 kills for Expendables.
Oh, Levi's with a sliver of health left. And
that's going to be knock number 4 or 5 on him at this point.
Oh, man, it's got to be something. Ninja is just bleeding out super fast. Okay, Polish Power do continue their wrap around to the south. As you know, you mentioned it, Copy. His little Dorito triangle was looking down to the south this entire time. Hasn't really been concerned with looking off to the west because, as you said, Buriram in that compound, not really of interest to Polish Power. They can't really make that push. So all of a sudden now they're going to be coming down here, backfilling around FaZe. FaZe going to have their eyes on this. Been in day trade.
They might actually catch them off guard. You can see Gustav is keeping his eyes to east, expecting that potentially there could be push coming through. But if they get the first couple of shots in, if they time it right without him spotting them, they're going to be absolutely golden because day trade starting to apply pressure from the other side here as well. If one falls, that should be the go sign for Polish Power. Damage does come through. No knocks found, no, and now not only does Gustav see that they're down there, he sees the entire team coming their way. That is crucial information obtained by Gustav.
Gets down just in the nick of time, too, as they will now be fully aware that they are getting sandwiched. They are pinched. They've got to do something, and it looks like on that south side, I don't see well within throwable range, as he is trying to lay a little bit of damage down on Polish Power on that little hillside.
What is the day trade response to this, too? Because you can see now Polish Power, as they've started shooting, all of a sudden Burram is looking this way too. Marcinek does find the double.
At the exact same time, FaZe Clan, they're going to try to lay the smoke down a little bit. See if they can maybe survive a little bit longer. The res is coming through for Polish Power. I think both FaZe and Polish Power realizing that the fight has been going on so long that they now have to be worried about their backsides as the slog here.
Other side of the Marcinek single player left alive. Gustav knowing that they need to deal with him and needs to deal with him. Now, fortunately, Diggory able to find him, but now with the smoke's fading, Diggory's seen, knocked down his trim. Again, they see that now they can fall back towards the only one more to go until Luminosity will be down and out, and there you have it. Random headshot through the smoke. You like to see it. Quetpa finds the third, and that is Luminosity, despite a good push down the hillside, butchered in the north.
Unfortunate for Luminosity, but they will live to fight another day as Buriram to defend against this Buriram push. Now Edie the last one alive, but the reses have come through. He's gonna find Dante. He's got 2 HP remaining, but Aduzi going for the res right now.
2 HP, 4 bullets. There's no stopping this man and the aggression that he's bringing. Petrichor in the meantime now, well aware they need to take the fight uphill if they want to do this. Ming able to get the first one. Quetpa is there for the trade. No, Pubg now finds one as well. As finally, Day Trade is up to join the fight once more.
Finally, there we go. Edie will finally finish off, question mark, as he finds the last one. 5 kills for Edie as he survives a little bit longer for Buriram, but Day Trade slowly starting to collapse and squeeze the fist, and they will find him, and that will be their 9th kill. Day Trade now securing first place for themselves. Petrichor Road going for the res onto Ike's left. The reses have not come through yet for BBL.
No, they'll do get Code Marco up, then the loss should be resable as well, but of course with the circle closing in, they only got so much time to work with. And again, Day Trade, I mean, they've been so incredibly smart about their third-party engagements. They haven't really had a single fight where they've been the main target of the team they've been shooting at. They've been so incredibly smart in timing their pushes, in understanding what's happening around them, and pull off plays that, for any team in this tournament, are difficult to do. So plenty of kills coming through, haven't lost a single player yet either. Oh, and quit. Finds Ike's left outside the wall. That is crucial not coming through, because he could have caught them off guard, just like Ming might here.
Huge stuff from Quetta. Ming will find but flash coming from the side. Day Trade pitching at the worst possible time for BBL, and now it is down to 2 for BBL as Ming, he's going to get spotted out by Smash. Can he find one more? Quetta will be the one that does it, but Day Trade rapidly collapsing here on a BBL. It's a 1v4, Toby.
Daytrade are the Grim Reapers from the south side of this circle. They're taking matters into their own hand. They ain't gonna sit around and wait for nothing. 12 kills, probably gonna be 13 in a second unless Smash has something to say. Not gonna happen. It's an APAC kind of day as Norrens and Daytrade find themselves a 13-kill win on Miramar.
I mean, you want to talk about just slowly squeezing the life out of the lobby. Daytrade, their fight selection was absolutely perfect from that entire late game. From the phase fight, they never acted for the longest time until they knew they could third party onto that phase Polish power fight, and then they came and swooped in and cleaned it up just quick as you like.
People have been doubting APAC. 26 kills between Expendables and Daytrade in this game. They almost took out half the server in an incredible fashion of the game because they never found one another. But oh my lord, what a performance.
I will say this, I don't think people have seen APAC teams perform at this level at an international competition. We've always expected it, we've been wanting it, and now finally it's starting to deliver here. But let's throw it over the desk to talk about that Daytrade victory.
That's right, Daytrade, a huge win for them. It seems like 13 kill wins is the magic number here so far at PGC, as we have Daytrade being able to convert from the fields, no less, for 13 kills to boot.
Yes, about 15 to join for the 5-way tie for the most points in one game. They just can't seem to get both. They also had 2 4th places and a 2nd place, so overall they're looking fantastic. I'm really happy to see that they took their regional domination into global domination now here for Group 8. And again, scrappy fights, outside circles for no terrain here. Perfect third-party situations coming out for the Expendables again. I've been loving seeing both Levi's and also 777 Expendables so far. As the guys and as the casters have been saying, APAC have really showed up so far here for PGC group stage.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Really, really good to see. Again,
7 kills
actually,
for Levi's.
I said it to you, I think yesterday, quite honestly, it feels like every region can win this PGC this time around, and that's super exciting to see. With all of these teams really stepping it up, really working hard to try and bring up the thunder, and Daytrade definitely one of those doing so. My only gripe is you can't call yourself Flash. That's not allowed. There's only one Flash in esports. Anyway, go on, continue.
It was good to see ED pop off. It was really good to see Quetpa get 5 as well, but you could see how BBL felt like that was a lost game. They should have won that game. That they felt like that. You can see Smash on screen afterwards here, but again, Daytrade with 13, 23-point game for them. That's going to put them very likely to be put them very likely to put them in first place here for this chicken dinner.
That's quite the win here for Daytrade, the second game of the day. Gets himself it on the board. And I think when you look at it as well, even their group stage as a whole so far, they've been flying. 5 really good performances already for them.
Super consistent from them. What I love from this game, though, is it was such a proactive game. We're not talking center compound and then they were just killing everyone coming to them. They were out there flexing. They were pushing teams. They were third-partying in so many cases. They faced Polish power fight third parties. So many situations where they had to push. They stayed 4 guys alive consistently throughout the game and then ended up with a win and 13 kills. So very well impressed with this one here. 14 smokes as well, and in general, utility usage for them throughout the game was nuts.
Vanguard.
Is that me, or
what were you going to say?
Or we're talking 2018 Vanguard
when they
won IM Katowice?
I just like ruining your name. What were you going to say?
I was going to say individual performances in this game alone, though, was through the roof. Quetpa, Edie, Levi's, and in general,
Levi's was huge.
So in 7, I think he ended up with 7 or 8 kills. So well played by him. And Ike's left, and in overall, my fantasy team in this game was in shambles. Ike's left, Code Marco, Noadra, they all died with either 0 or very few kills.
I think, we were saying as well, also watching the game, Levi's getting 7 on the board as well. I feel like right now in this group stage, if you get 7 or above, that's where your God mode game is.
Right.
Like, we've seen it multiple times. 7 really has been that clutch number. We've seen an 8 and a 9 here and there, but 7's been looking real good. Daytrade, 23 points.
I wouldn't say God mode, though. God mode, that's 1K club or 10 kills.
Yes.
7 is where you breach into, that's a huge game for you.
Okay.
Like, that's career-defining game.
7's hero mode.
Yeah.
And then 10, your 10 or your 1K is your god mode. Yes. Okay. We've established the rules for now. Specifically PGC 2022. Okay. So the Expendables once again up there, absolutely popping things in this game. I will say as well, Avenger, Petrichor Road did something.
Yes, finally.
Hooray!
Good game for them, but rough game for them. They had to push through the compound. They had to push through BBL. It was a scrappy fight. We saw Quidpa open up and then Iceclef went down. We saw Ming, really good Groza situation for them. But overall, it was a rough game for them. They had to push so many times and the circle kept going away for them. They did end up getting good placement, 3rd place as you see for them, but not that many kills to boot.
Yeah, here's Daytrade as well, but we've talked about them enough here for the moment.
Yes.
Let's talk about everything else that was going on. To be honest, I felt like there was a moments in this game where I thought it was going to be pretty big for Europe. It wasn't exactly to be. BBL did get up there, but there was FaZe still alive, Question Mark still alive, Polish Power still alive, but not a lot of conversions for old Europe.
No, and here's an updated leaderboard for the first 7 matches. We obviously got 8 more, but Daytrade put themselves in that 78 spot, 15 points ahead of United because a good game like that is going to put them comfortably. I would say at this point, Daytrade, congrats to the winners bracket for that one.
Yeah.
United had a really rough game for this one, but that happens when you go out with, 2 or less points. Question Mark put themselves into 8 for 36. Luminosity fall to 36 on 9th place.
The problem for Question Mark's position in that game as well, it was always going to be nade bait.
Right.
With the way the cars are positioned as well, they were always eventually going to blow up once a team got up on towards them, and it was Buraram, I think, who was able to make that gap.
I will say this though, if you look at our current bottom 5 teams, Buraram, FaZe Clan, Petrichor Road, Polish Power, and Genji, you're like, how is that our current bottom 5? That is insane.
This is how I felt in Group A as well. I'm like, how is this our bottom 5? But, this is the nature of the World Championship when you've got this kind of thing going on. So many good teams, but also the dynamics of each of these group stages. You could be a great team, but just the dynamic of the group doesn't work out for you. And I think we're seeing that for a few of the teams across the team.
Also the meta is not what you thought it was going to be here. Also, you don't play the same style that you played in PCS7, or you're not able to replicate it, change drop spots. There are so many factors in this case here.
All right, time for a break. When we return, we have one more Miramar on the cards, and then after that, we'll be heading over to the grassy pastures. We'll see you in a few for more PGC.
There's Daytrade Gaming, the best team in the APAC. Let's go. Hi guys. Hello.
Hello.
Well, where were you heading? What did you do?
เพิ่งไปถ่ายทีมเซตติ้งมาครับ
Hey, I just want to have a short interview with you guys and a little quiz time. Do you have time?
โอเค
Okay, let's go. Follow me. Welcome to Dubai Daytrade Gaming. Can you introduce yourself?
ชื่อเบลมอสครับจาก Daytrade Gaming ครับชื่อโนรินจากทีม Daytrade Gaming ครับ
Have you met other players from other teams or other regions so far?
ก็เจอแล้วครับมีทีมจีนแล้วก็ยุโรปแล้วก็อเมริกาครับเจอมาแล้วครับเวียดนามยุโรปก็คือว่าเจอเริ่มจะครบทุกโซนแล้วแต่ว่ายังไม่ครบทุกทีมครับ
You guys were not that good in last year but became so strong this year. How could you become so strong this year and how could you be so consistent toward this year?
ก็พวกเราเตรียมตัวมาทั้งปีครับปีนี้ก็มีความมั่นใจมากครับที่จะทำได้ดีกว่าเดิมในครั้งนี้ครับ
You guys might not be the first and second in the PCS leaderboard, still high, but your team is all about the teamwork.
ก็ด้วยความที่เราเล่นมานานเราเล่นมาประมาณ 3 ปีเล่นด้วยกันครับ แล้วก็เรารู้ว่าข้อผิดพลาดเราเป็นยังไง แล้วเราค่อยๆ แก้ไขมาตลอดเลยครับ ก็ทำให้ประสบความสำเร็จในพิเศษด้วยครับ
ก็คิดว่านูรินเป็นคนที่ไว้ใจได้ตลอดครับ เชื่อใจได้
You're right.
sound
I'm gonna play the sound.
salute the southern shores of Miramar. Well, you're gonna have a journey ahead of you because it's quite a stretch getting down there. El Sahara over El Pozo. They really don't come more north than this.
You say that. Well, I mean, I guess this is. I don't know if I've ever seen anything too much violent. At least not at east to west.
I mean,
or
on the horizontal
like
line?
yeah.
They don't get further north than
I don't
this.
think they do.
Just like any other city ending. But it was pretty interesting with how teams maneuvered up there, having seen the same old things for so far now. I'm actively looking towards donuts.
I'm still tilted that we didn't, like in our final game of the day yesterday, we got that Picado circle.
and there was
just nobody left alive to play it. Like, I was really excited about that one finishing
and
off,
it was a proper full circle around Picado. This time around, though, that ain't the case. It's a full circle around La Copraria and Crater Fields, an area we've been in plenty of times before, but not too much during PGC so far.
Yes, indeed. That little area just to the south of La Cobe is going to be spicy. Excited to see. I'm actually interested because Wildcard typically does kind of loot over in that power grid. Now they've been pushed off since, and now are kind of a little bit further up towards the water treatment, but they do like to kind of play that crater area much in a similar fashion as Twisted Minds does.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they decide to take that push there. Is QM going to loot up in the middle of the city? But fortunately, nobody really any farther south than Picado. So even if you want to come in late, you could probably avoid the blue zone.
I think right now, I mean, if you're Luminosity, if you're Taking Away Gaming, if you're FaZe Clan, and you were one of those last couple of teams to jump out of the plane, you know that you're having a free buffet on the northwest side of the map. And I would not be surprised to see the likes of Luminosity just, I mean, even though there might not be a team that you kind of think of as the full-on commit center early on type team, they know they've been blessed with an opportunity to make an early play, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them try and go for it.
Yeah. I mean, well, conversely, wouldn't really be surprised to see him just kind of wrap around up to that northwest side and just play it cool.
Yeah.
You know, just see where the next circle decides to take it, and you know, I wouldn't be terribly surprised to see this thing cut back to the west or just center up like we said on La Cobe. But lots of time left as we check in with Xiaotong and Tai Lu. But man, 63 points. They're now tied with the United. Day Trade, obviously, huge story as well. But, you know, we came in today talking about the top of the leaderboard soaking up all the points, and it really hasn't changed a whole heck of a lot. That eighth place cut line is still pretty well within range for just about everybody.
We say that there are certain teams that thrive in the chaos in the earlier stages of the tournaments, and then we say that there are certain teams that give them the prep time, give them a couple of games to get grounded, and they will start popping off. Well, those teams that we want to see start popping off, they haven't quite done so thus far. But again, only halfway there, still plenty more PUBG to play.
Oh yeah.
For Group B, and this circle, not only is it a hard northwestern one, but it's one of those where, because there's so many teams sitting towards the south-southeast, I would not be surprised to see the west. I mean, the worst case scenario here, Poro, is us having a west hard shift phase 2.
Sure.
Because there's going to be 3, maybe 4 teams maintaining control of the, well, essentially the western half coming in. So I think we're looking at a 16-4 split. I mean, 12-4, I should say. 12-4 split in terms of teams on the eastern or western side of this circle by the end of it.
Okay. Have to see how it plays out. I don't think that you're incorrect, though, as, you know, La Cobe is a little bit farther north of center. Not a whole heck of a lot, but, I mean, you look at how much of that circle is on the north side and how much space is available up there.
Yep.
Definitely wouldn't be surprised to see some of these late arriving teams try to do those long wraps around. But the question is are they going to run into each other? You know, it's been so long at this point that we'll have to see what happens. Meanwhile, Corn and Wild Shot, or not Wild Shot, Wild Card Greg Shot. There we go. I got there eventually, chat.
They're not making it easy for us either. I gotta say, for Korn, I mean, one of the most scary things, if you're not just straight up running into a shotgun, it's gotta be, you park your car, you think you're good, you run into a building and there's a bike parked inside, you go, oh no, I know where this is going. Fortunately for Greg Shot, he got his running shoes on today and he's full speed sending it down the hillside, and I mean, lucky him, because none of the Donuts players are actively looking for him right now.
Yeah, you definitely want to be careful about Corn. That guy can be a real freak on a leash. Shout out to the 5 people in chat that found that funny. As Adam taking a few more shots, taking out a few more tires. And Wildcard, looks like they've pretty much secured their area of play. Still nobody off to the north. They've kind of forced USG Donuts down there. But Buriram's starting to get a little bit curious. We'll have to check in on that here in a little bit. 17, meanwhile, leaving El Pozo and just sending it dead center here, the north side of the crater.
I'm actually a little surprised. I mean, Genji does move early, and now 17 is kind of coming in up through crater playing the north side, as you said. They're probably going to go straight into the dip above. And this is, we talked to 17 coming into today. I talked to 17 now. Well, hold that thought, because they might just be running into question mark here. Did they hear something? Did they see something?
I don't think they did. I'm not even sure what they could have seen, really.
So while no fight is happening, oh nope, no fighting is happening. Dante out of bullets. Unfortunate when you have the best DMR in the game that you don't have an extended mag.
Stop. You're gonna
People are
gonna trigger chat again with your SKS is the best talk. Luke 12 scouting out a little. I think he may have spotted out Anonix there briefly. He definitely knows he's there now after those shots.
No, it's seeing 17 hard commit to the city early like that. I mean, we talked to them coming into today, and obviously they're still missing Xiaobei. They're still waiting for arguably one of the biggest fraggers in all of the Asia region to come to Dubai, and they've said, like, they were honest. I asked them how is your playstyle changed after, I mean, now that you don't have him here. They're like, we gotta play more passive. He's literally the entry. Like, he is the first knock in all of our 4v4 team fights. We can't go out and play as aggressive as we do when we have him now that he's not here. Not to take anything away from Shoshu, but Xiaobei is just, I mean, he's an incredible fragger.
Yeah.
And when you don't have him there, well, understandable that they're slowing things down.
Oh, he's about to land on the pineapple. But yeah, no, I mean, look, actually, I would argue credit to Suju. The fact that he's coming in as a sub, I mean, this is one of the best teams playing without one of their best players, and they're in the top 8. So Suju obviously filling in admirably there. 17 not popping off on all cylinders the way they would like to be, obviously, but they're having to play with a sub, so it's expected. But to say that they are still in contention for that top 8 spot and to go on to that winner's bracket is huge.
It sure is. Sitting in 7th right now, not too far away from wildcard in 6th, so despite some forced roster changes, they are really looking as good, maybe even better than some might have expected.
Speaking of better than expected, these boys have been an absolute pleasure and a delight to watch so far. The Expendables having a heck of a group stage for themselves so far. And through 2 days, or through 1 day, it was a lot of fun to watch. And then you just kind of hoped that maybe it would turn into 2. And so far, so good. As check back in with Buriram, pretty much the only APAC team in this lobby that hasn't really been doing too great, but they're still in striking distance.
Definitely,
so
definitely.
Whoa, Corn!
Oh, that's a tire pop. That's half HP as well. Unjexing, fools to take this fight now. Corn is alone though, so we can hear the shots coming from behind, and actually Konaxi with the MK in hand finds a headshot. That is perfect.
I think Chexing just kind of trying to slow him down more than anything. There you go, nice shots from Corn. We'll land Chexing down, and the rest of Buriram, you can see them off in the distance, not really too terribly interested in coming to try to revive their fallen teammate. I don't think they have much of an idea of where the rest of Donuts is.
No, Adra was going forward, instantly turning around. Feel like that's a call from top of the company saying, you know what, unfortunate happens. We tried to spread out, we tried to take more control, and honestly, when you look at it, with how much control Burr also already got, might have been a bit of a stretch to go for it. Korn was hidden, Korn was smart. Now the circle goes south, and this is going to force some interesting rotations, because mountains galore is what they have to go through in order to get down towards the southern side of the circle.
Yeah, this, like you said, man, terrain, going to be the name of the game. As ET with that high ground, taking shots down onto BBL. Everything's just hitting hoods and roofs, though, at the moment. It's mostly just serving. Oh, Yuppie. Where even is Yuppie?
He just drove past him.
Was that him?
He drove past him
okay.
uphill and said, you know what? I see you on that bike. You ain't have no chance to shoot back. And just like that, taking away gaming up the leaderboard again. Diggory, in the meantime, might as well use the car for cover. Turning upside down, similar to what we saw from Snakers earlier. Fortunately, his car landed back on his wheels again.
Okay. Well, FaZe can kind of continue holding their high ground split that they've got going on right now, gaining a whole lot of information about what's going on to the south end center of this circle is now 17. They are in a little bit of a pickle here. They know that QM is over here. They knew, or at least they know a team is over here on the eastern side of Kobe, but they got to know that there's people behind them as well.
They know they've, let them go as well. They know that they're setting up, trying to deny this, well, what was most likely going to have to be exit from La Cobraria for 17 Gaming. So the more damage they can do now, which unfortunately isn't all that much, if QM gets this hilltop and they just get to set up there, wait for 17, so then have to make the move, it is going to be a pretty tough rotation coming through from 17 Gaming. Already now I'm starting to get worried for the vehicles.
Show gonna have eyes on LG.
He's miles out in the open.
Yeah, this is, well, he gets away with it, so, you know, no harm, no foul, I guess. I mean, it's just kind of gain information about what's going on over off to the west here, and if anything's going to be coming in from the north side of the city. But it looks like 17, they do have vehicles, but they're content with just kind of holding on to their city spot right here, at least until the next circle shift. So LG have found themselves a foothold here.
Waiting for Luke to come down and regroup, and then they'll make the play off of that once they trade commit to a decision. And speaking of committing to a decision, Gen G, it's interesting how when we see, oh my god, thank you observers, that it was incredible timing.
Right?
Gen G currently wrapping all the way around the poster. I'm not saying this is necessarily going to be a bad play, because if the next circle goes south, we talked about how hard it was going to be to get down here.
Man,
but this is again just to prove to me that it's not the same Gen G we've seen before. I like to think that they have good fraggers in between, but with how many teams that are so phenomenal in playing Edge, Gen G, every time you do a hard wrap like this, that is you rotating into an area you've never been to before, meaning no scouting done, no nothing of the sort haven't been found out for the team, and therefore, most likely, the opposing team, the team you're running into, is also going to be the team to get the first bullet off.
Yeah, Gen G, definitely not the tournament they've been wanting so far.
And they're scout, like they're seen all the way.
Yeah, and then kind of been dead last right now, and they're going to have to continue their wraparound. Did want to point out that LG did take the position inside the edge of the circle before Day Trade could, so you saw them taking shots at Day Trade as they made their way off into the blue. Can't even see them right now on this map. They are just off to that northwest, but Day Trade still 4 up, doing a wrap around on that western edge, and they've got a long way to go now, Toby, as we get a hard shift off to the east.
If you're Gen G now, you just full speed send it. You might as well go all the way east around towards San Martin and then push up the hillside. 8C now, trying to get off the cliffside as well. Apparently there's glue on the tires of that bike, the way that he just got stuck over on the other side. Oh, 8C.
He's fine.
Oh, I mean, sure it is, but he almost gave me a heart attack for a second there. Able to get off the hillside. Luminosity now having to make a play here as well. They're aware that there are still players from 17 in and around here, at least. Actually, now that I say it, they might not be.
Oh, they know.
But I like the wrap here. I like the idea of wrapping all the way north around. Tank a bit of blue, get all the way around. So, smart play, trying to get across to a more empty side of the circle.
We'll have to keep an eye on that, though, because Show is feeding that information over his teammates, and they're repositioning. Meanwhile, Take Me Away, they're running into Petrichor Road here on the southwestern side from Polish Power. Have a little bit of an angle, too, but it's hard to tell who's got angles and lines of sight onto what here, as everything is happening on the side of this mountain. You can see, there you go, Petrichor, or Polish Power, TMA all at the top, FaZe Clan, the low man on the road here. BBL taking a few shots over there. Petrichor Road actually pull away as FaZe Clan just kind of blow through.
The putt racing is on, and the Tuscan Raiders are standing on the hillsides ready to take out anyone coming their way. Yuppie will fall. Fortunately for Taking Away Gaming, as much as they were trying to take out teams down the hill, they also had an opponent further uphill. FaZe Force just chill in the open. They are center circle, so for now it's not the worst place to be, but if you look at the landscape, if you look at how many teams who could potentially have angles towards them, this is not going to be easy. Fex already down, and now the nades are starting to come in.
It's going to be sober. The fact that there are still 61 alive, Toby, and there is just so little room to play here. Fex looks like he's going to try to pull away for now, and FaZe all on top of each other. Haven't been able to flush anything out just yet. Polish Power has that high ground, but it's an extremely target-rich environment. Is Kickstart actually going to find Crunio? United have a nice spot in the dead center of the circle. They're actually going to take care of TMA, but BBL going to steal the kills away. That sucks for United.
I mean, Take Me Away Gaming just split all over the place, couldn't really manage to stay put together there. And again, once the smokes fade out, FaZe in trouble once more. Hobbits does find the first long. Only's aware there's one nearby now with Cabby approaching in the vehicle here as well. It's just, this is a terrible, terrible spot to sit in. Not only because they have opponents right next to them, but everyone on the southern side of the road here can see all of them. So you're trying to take the fight to the guy next to you with two more teams shooting at you from the side.
Oh, there you go. Taking Me Away Gaming finally going to get eliminated. It's going to be Mill that does it. So welcome back, Mill. And now you got another variable. All of this fighting that's been going on over here. The Expendables slowly making their way out of the blue now. They're coming in late, and Petrichor Road trying to go for these reses while under fire in the smokes. The new circle does pop. It's going to go just a little bit off to the east, but all these teams off to the west still have to make their way in.
Exactly, you say a little bit, but that little bit is just enough to shift out the entire hilltop towards the west. And now that, like, the entire west side of the circle here is going to be a downhill slant towards the center. So if you sit up there, if you play up there, you will be visible to the opposing teams further towards the south. And the E77 gets eyes on one. It's going to be Levi's to find the first. Ming able to get over the ridge line, but actually no, on the other side, now Ninja there, ready and waiting, takes down both bikes, left and long.
How does the Expendables, it just keeps on rolling for this squad. Ninja going to get rezzed while Polish Power, we're taking shots at Petrichor Road as well, but Ming still alive, still in the game here as the rest of his fallen teammates get finished off. Snakers will take one, Levi's will take the other. Cappy gonna find 777 off in no man's land and might be able to get him flushed as well.
Not confirmed thus far, but it should go through any second now. Don't think, yep, there you have it.
There it is.
Kill coming through for Polish Power, and again, you can see this is the hillside we're talking about. This is what people are, well, maybe being forced to play on, and as you see with Luminosity as well, you can't sit around in this area. You've got to full speed send it further down the ridgeline, further down the hill to get out of view from some of all these players.
LG leaving Luke 12 up on the high ground here to try to take shots at Wildcard, make sure that they can't just sit there and hard peek the rotation. So good work from Luke 12 there as the Expendables now back in vehicles, trying to find a place to call home, but BBL have not left their compound just yet. United has had eyes on them. They're just kind of sticking back, trying to see if they can pick up some points off of what's left coming in.
I like this idea for BBL. Might as well see if you can catch them on the edge. Crunio! Actually, it's going to be Norcus to find the knock, but looked amazing regardless. A lot of damage coming through, and now instantly out of the car, instantly nade smoke thrown forward. They know they have FaZe just over on the other side, and FaZe are forced to make an aggressive play here.
Smart from FaZe to immediately just rush in, knowing that the utility was going to start coming their way. Gustav getting shot at from the back, though, by Question Mark. Petrichor Road is going to get eliminated. Ninja 2K will find out one. He'll find out two. 8C, the last one up for FaZe, and he's going to go down to a doozy.
We knew it was going to be a tricky spot to play from, and once you have Expendables sitting right next door, it's not exactly making things any easier. Question Mark over the top, continuing the onslaught as Hobbits finds Ninja as well.
FaZe left, looking to the sky for answers, as it has been a slow start for them as well. Now down in 15th place. The Expendables still alive, actually. There you go, Duck 2's going to be taken out as Yao Yang going to find a nice little angle. And Polish Power surviving through all of this. stay alive on that southwestern side.
Bit of an observe bug on that one. We'll make our way through it. Day trade and Burram. Who would have thought these two teams would be fighting each other at any point in the game? It's not like they've done so literally every single game thus far. Norgis finds once. Polish power helping out Day trade and trying to stay alive in the pit they find themselves in right now.
Unfortunately for Day trade, BBL, I mean, this was the only real wrap that they had. They've lost Code Marco and Keppa, but this is the only real option that BBL had, and unfortunately for Day trade, they're going to lose 2 right there. Bailmouth now the last one up. He hears the footsteps, waiting to see if he can maybe survive a little bit longer. If he could get this guy, he might be able to get a few reses. Thunderlaw also get taken down about half HP. He finds Smash, but that's going to be it. 2 more points picked up for BBL. But Thunderloss now the last one up as Brewery Rum cleaning up what's left.
It's not a lot, but you'll take everything you can get here. Thunderloss trying to stay put. 6 kills coming through off of, again, a unfortunate finish, I think it's safe to say, to the previous game for BBL. Not staying alive in the wildcard now. Forced to go up the hillside. They're going to be underneath on this play. I guess they are. Might as well just pull up here.
Oh.
And Donuts, in no way, shape, or form ready for this push coming through.
I'm actually very surprised that Wildcard is able to get 3 in there. They might actually get 4 as Nico's going to finally arrive and the grenade's going to sail just wide. But Wildcard with a ballsy rotation, and they pull right in on USG Donuts.
And there's no way they make this play just as a blind scent. They scouted it. They looked. They saw there was no activity on the east or like on the southern side. Sorry, northern side of the compound here. Maybe it's Donuts just allowing them through, saying we can't maintain control of everything. Regardless, great rotation coming through. Now on the other side of things, fight starting once more.
Oh, Buriram had nowhere to go, and they pull right into Tai Lu. Fortunately, Tai Lu was able to kind of, that's CC 108 on top of things. As now this compound is getting every team looking at it. 17 gonna pull up. It's down to just Shawood as he is the last one alive. USG holding against the charge. And one wild card trying to push in as well. Korn gonna get taken out by Waikakamukau, immediately traded back onto Nikos.
Yep, Shawood just trying to stay alive, but it's over with the nade in hand. She able to take him out, and that's the 3rd for him. 17 Gaming out of this one. Donuts stay alive, but for how much longer? Wildcards still in and around here, but as I say that, Waikakamukau down to the Native Americano.
What a grenade from Americano as he finds the flush and the knock onto Cal. Gregshot and Adam just holding the line, waiting for the push to come in. You can see LG has sight on this as well from the high ground, but meanwhile, Tai Lu taking it to Gen G. And Nonix, the last one alive, as the smoke's starting to fade.
Xiaoying, such a big threat in this fight. Finds the first 2. Third one will fall. It's going to be Thunderlost, the solo player left alive on the side of BBL.
Thunderlost!
Finds one more. CC goes down, but the job is far from done for him.
What a snake play from Thunderloss. He is pining all kinds of points here for BBL, and he's staying alive as the circle cuts back down to the south. E-United just laughing right now, but they are compound cursed to the maximum. 3 kills so far for them, but that might be all they get.
Well, I mean, they don't need more right now to still become a 10-kill win by the end of this one, as all these other teams will have to fight their way out of the positions they're currently in. Korn, 2 kills thus far. And I like this play from Donuts again. Play the southern side, play it towards the circle, force the other 2 teams to fight one another, and then if you have to, try and third-party Halo. You hate to see it. Whiffs, fortunately able to turn it around.
Oh my god, it's not often you see Halo get to whiff a shot like that, and now Adam immediately turns around, but Americano quick on the trigger, realizing the situation, immediately takes him back down, and now it's down to Waikakamukau as LG were so quiet, so sneaky and pushing down, and Cal can't get through the door. Wildcard is eliminated.
Yep, nice molly from Purdy to try and isolate. Waikakamukau forced to make his way on through. He hears it, turns around, despite being flash shots connected. Unfortunately, does manage to get
Halo will find Korn. This fight needs to come to a head really quickly. There you go. Halo finds Americano as well. And now Donuts down to just Shiva. 3 kills in the bag for him, 6 total for Donuts. Ooh, the grenade falls just shy.
And while all this has been going on, Lucas managed to wrap all the way around, get up on the hillside in the back, just in case any of the Donuts players make their way out there. And even though he might not find the damage or the kills here, he is feeding so much info across. Believe me, the building Shiva's in is marked on the map. They know exactly where to push off of this one.
Absolutely beautiful work being done here by LG in the late game, as they are cleaning out what's left. And Shiva, yep, he said, Luke, beautiful work. There it is. The grenade will do it, and Donuts goes down in 6th place. LG now with 6 points and climbing.
Sitting tight for that 7th, 8th place spot as they push their way further forward. They do still have a couple of vehicles to work with, and they're most likely, unless if they're presented with the most northern hardships of northern hardships, most likely going to be needing the cars. Question in the cars, where the hell do they go from here? They've cleared their side of the circle. Everyone knows they're safe, except for Tai Lu, because if Lindelof peeks on over the ridgeline at the right time, he might find a few.
Got to give huge credit to Question Mark Gaming. The day they've had today has been an absolute turnaround from their day number 1. They have climbed up this leaderboard. They're in the top 8, and they're looking to climb even more. 7 kills so far this game, 4 alive, as they have control over the high ground on that western edge. Now, United still 4 deep. They have the compound low. Let's see where the circle decides to take us.
It's one of those, you can't really play that ridge line, but they've attempted, they've succeeded. Now, though, they've had enough of it. They're going to come down the hill again. They've scouted, they've seen what was free, and they've played it perfectly. They have made landfall, unfortunately, with where the new circle is going. They are outside. Issue for United, though, they are split. Relo Kickstart sits on this, on the southern side of the road. They need to find a way to cross here, and now Tai Lu is starting to look in this direction, too.
I mean, that's the other issue, isn't it? I mean, Tenderloss trying to make a way down here. The solo hero, he's going to get spotted up by Relo. But the problem for both of these teams is that you have Luminosity on one side, you've got Tai Lu on the other side, and everything is in a bowl. They can just sit here and take shots down at anybody who tries to go outside.
While Tai Lu will have to make a play eventually, right now, they can feast off of this fight that's bound to happen. Towards the south side, United, 4 alive. They need to hold off against Question Mark. And while all this is going on, Luminosity, well, they've seen Tai Lu play their focus towards the south, and they're going to take the fight up towards them now. 4 in a car, full speed forward. 1 nade could do it if they place it right. Xiaoyang, that info must have been fed across, and now the teams comes to help.
He's just trying to throw the grenades down, but none of them are finding their mark as LG starting to push forward. Xiaoyang is going to find 1, he's going to find 2. Can he find 3? Give them all 4. Purdy Curdy's going to stop his reign of terror, but it's down to Sia. It's a 1v1 versus Purdy Curdy. If he can win this, either one wins this, they can get the revives back on. Kurt's going to go down. Xiaoyang is still alive. Sia coming in big for Tai Lu.
Coming into this game, we talked about Tai Lu and their ability to adapt. This is how they won their game of today, the previous one. They are so quick in responding to some of these things happening. As soon as those cars are coming, you see all the players instantly pushing north to assist Xiaoyang. He finds 3, Sia finds the last, and now they're back up to 3 alive.
10 kills for Tai Lu. They've hopped into 2nd place, 1 point behind Day Trade. United's still in it as well. But they have to deal with Question Mark, and look at this, Tai Lu. They're going to leave Xiaoyang on the high ground. He's going to feed the intel over to the rest of the boys. They've got a rock to play on this roadside, but that is dead center circle. Kickstart, trying to see if he can maybe find some... Oh, nicely done. He's going to find a Uzi. And do they have time to go for that res?
Xiaoyang is in a perfect position up the hillside to find kills here. Only thing is, if he gets knocked, there's no one able to get up towards him.
There it is.
Xiaotongs finds the ladder Question Mark, and all of a sudden, United, Tai Lu gonna take the fight. Sia tried to go for an off-angle position, but caught mid-transition. Snakers finds Run. Relo now finds the second as well. We just mentioned it, Xiaoyang, you're up on the hill, you cannot go down. Well, now he does, and all of a sudden, Xiaotongs is all that's left alive from the side of the team, and there you have it.
Oh my God.
There you have it. United once again victorious, their 3rd win in 8 games.
I mean, how how good are these guys? They were fully focused in on question mark, Toby. The amount of teams that would tunnel vision down onto question mark and have no idea what was going on behind them is huge, but these guys instantly turn, immediately get 2 knocks back to back. I mean, they knew where everybody was.
They fend off against question mark. They're able to take the fight further forward. I do like to think that maybe while, I mean, had Tyloo been faster and trying to spread out, get some of these off angles, they could have easily caught United off guard, but they never even had to leave the compound to win the game from there.
That's the thing, though. I don't think United was ever off guard. I mean, they were absolutely aware of everything that's going on. Now, take nothing away from Tyloo.
Phenomenal game.
That was a beautiful hold against LG.
The fact that they're able to set up, the fact they're able to set up a defense with such short notice, I mean, that is absolutely insane to me. They were on the completely other side of the ridge line, and still they managed to come back, fortify, and take them out. Let's take it back to the desk for the final Miramar of the day.
That is correct, as we continue the top-heavy group here with E United. Another win on the board, and oh boy, did they make it look simple. We've got ourselves the moments from this game. A great holdout on this compound here for E United, and for any team trying to deal with them. We saw question mark, we saw even Tyloo down towards the end. Not enough here, Vanguard.
I was elated to finally see a northwestern circle here, James. But once we saw that second and third circle pop, it was just so clear that it was gonna go down here. It's gonna pop up the mountain. It's gonna go into this compound, and it's gonna end close to United. They hunkered down and managed to get 10 kills throughout for this win here. They had to defend multiple times. First, you know, a little bit of some solo pushes, some other pushes, but also the push from question mark. While then Tyloo was trying to, third party or not third party. It was not fully committed. And then one guy running in the open. It was not really what I expected from Tyloo, but still, Tyloo had a fantastic game, and they managed to get some points from this one, and also wipe out Luminosity, of course.
Yeah, they had an Uber Eats delivery coming their way from Luminosity Gaming, and there was a lot of nades, but none of them really hit too well, and then Tyloo decided to, well, absolutely pop off.
It was just Yang that managed to get 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then there's a 1 versus 1s. And then in this case, it's just rough. I was hoping to see them actually have a decent fight here.
You thought maybe this location might be where Luminosity would go?
It could have been decent with if they had more vehicles, but I feel like they only had 1, otherwise I wouldn't see them. Maybe they had some broken ones or whatever, but
yes.
I would like to see some split, like a split push from them. Not cut the compound, but with smokes and like try to hold out Tyloo. United though with a 20-pointer. A lot of nades used, but not that much of the other utilities. Look at Tyloo though, 14 smokes to try to make things work along with question mark. Question mark had to do a lot of work on that western side, on that high ground. I'm actually pretty impressed that they're able to get this far. We put 7 and a third for 12 total points.
They've put the boots to the ground of question mark in the past couple of games. That is fair, because right now they've pumped themselves up towards that top 8. Very nicely done. Yes. Beating their chest all the way to the top. Likewise though, Luminosity, 2,400 damage as they're slowly creeping on up as well.
Farming.
Creeping up.
Good for the fantasy, of course. Here are some highlights. Ooh. And in general, I gotta say, this compound here in this area, I don't like it. It is hard to play. It's hard to get into some situations where you can actually get a lot of done. I love it when it ends, you know, on the plane crash, like southeast, where you see on the circle.
Yes.
Because then everyone can kind of fight uphill. Here you have to get off the high grounds down into compound, like scrappy fights, into some of these shanties here. It's just in general super rough to play that late game.
Devil's advocate for a moment. If the circle doesn't go towards this compound, going up from this compound is almost a death sentence.
No, it's also great. You can
think it's okay?
Yeah, because we play that kind of high ground where you have this triangle where you have all these compounds around it. But this, where you have to get off into James for
between United and Tyloo.
5 teams with double digits. BBL managed to get 7 kills before they went out too.
Well, they certainly needed it in terms of trying to push up towards that top 8 as well. I think slight gap closes here and there. Where was that cutoff? There was a 10-point gap in some of the games before. Where was that? Was it around the 9th, 10th mark?
9th to 10th, yeah. Yes. Question mark was kind of the gatekeeper, and now they managed to jump in a little bit deeper here. But United, with the damages coming in, very spread out, but Kickstart continues to farm again. If you were able to grab him as your captain, or even on your fantasy team, you're happy times right now.
For himself. Yes. Definitely one of the stars here as E United is shining bright up towards the top alongside.
He's ready.
Ready?
Rock, paper, scissors. The stance.
Oh, he was, yeah, okay.
That's
Yeah.
the stance. 83 points. They are done. Then we have a huge gap, 19 points down to the expendables. So a lot of spots potentially up for grabs when we're looking fourth and all the way down there.
The top three at the moment, they're almost
They're certain, 100%. 100%.
With how they're playing as well,
Yes.
we're not going to see a drop-off quite as catastrophic as would need to be to drop out of top 8.
And also with 7 more games, they're going to get at least a 15 more points in those 7, right? So they're easily in the 90 plus club.
Let's talk about the danger zone then,
Yes.
because honestly, again, as we mentioned prior, there's big names down there. You know, you got yourself Petrichor Road, FaZe Clan, moments here and there.
Yeah,
I did that.
I gotta say, I'm surprised we haven't seen maybe a substitution or seen some other changes coming in the fence we're done making, because in no games in Circle 3 have found themselves any Circle lock, but then they have been able to make some proactive moves to get into Circle 4, Circle 3, Circle 5.
They're finding themselves on the edge, and they're losing those fights.
And they're not getting any Circle love.
Yes, it has been extremely rough for them. Not so rough for BBL. They are currently on the cusp.
Yes.
41 points at
They're
9th place.
pushing up a little bit there. Of course, they're you know, having not so much fun with the game that they felt like they should have won when we have our home turf circle-ish, and they also get some good circles for it, but then they ended up having a Petrichor Road that are actually hitting a lot of bullets and shooting some good knocks, and they're coming.
Currently in 8th place with 4 points. And when I look at these two teams at the moment, I would put more stock in what Wildcard is able to do here so far. If you think back to day number 1 and how they were playing, but thank you. We are now ready to head on over as we go to the grassy pastures here. The action.
To start things off, they can manage to switch things up, get a lot more points on these closing games on a different map. Is there any team really that's kind of is maybe a team that might benefit from the map switch?
I feel like FaZe Clan. I mean, with the plane path now favoring their land spot, also things around if they want to make it.
FaZe definitely that place cut. Single ranks so far.
You know what's wild to me?
What's wild to you?
This
Card?
is the first game of Irangel. Now, fortunately,
that is true.
For I suppose both Polish Power and Tyloo, the plane path also allowed for Polish Power to go to Lipovka, which, I mean, I talked to the players, they said, you know, we're going out of Lipovka to lose a team that's already...
I mean, especially Polish Power 13th spot right now. And yeah, and I think that was one of the things that we were looking at prepping coming into day number 1 for those first 3 Irangel map. Yeah, was the potential for that hot drop, but again, no plane ever really allowed for that for that hot drop to even happen. So now we're not getting a wild card was seen, comes up here and it just impaired. Is arriving, but this is a 3v2. Flood going to go down to a nice grenade from Cappy. Kickstart waiting. He's going to find one. Can he get the second one as well? Over there, 3-point for Burion. But Checksing still across the road with that bolty, and look, he's found an angle. He's taking shots. Burion needs to be careful here. You don't want to bite off more than you
to risk themselves. No hard drop, perfect angle, finds one, leaves. Maybe they'll do that again. Come phase 2, once they start rotating again.
start fighting, you're already sitting at 3, potentially even 4 kills, and then it can really start to double up, so to speak.
This phase we were speaking about a little bit earlier, just in those Nai feels. Meanwhile, Buriram did manage to escape E United after taking some big shots from behind. But they haven't made circle just yet, and Day Trade is kind of hanging around just off to the south. This is really slow rotations coming in from BBL.
It's a different
Take your time.
BBL from what we've seen thus far. And while they are, I mean, technically on just on the cusp, as the analyst desk said as well, sitting in
They're on
ninth,
track.
just a couple of points behind Wildcard. They know that they play better than a 9th place in this lobby, at least that they're capable of. And I think for BBL, a little more aggression is needed. There's spots from where they can really benefit from their advantages. Gen G playing this slow edge 1v4 split fighting all the time instead of just going, we got a Nunnex, we got Adder, let's just run straight into the face and kill them. It's the same thing that I want to see for BBL. Stay together and win fights.
And we saw USG defending their territory against a push from Tai Lu. Velocity, meanwhile, going to find a Fex on a rock. And the shot's going to come through, but no knock to be found just yet. Fex will survive, but Diggory will not. Luke 12 going to hit those ones and will take out the FaZe Gunner. And now 3 alive now for FaZe. They are back in vehicles and back on the move towards the south.
If anything...
They've left Fex, though.
If anything, Fex did everything he could to kind of bait for Diggory to get to safety. But unfortunately, wasn't quite enough. And as you said, I mean, already in a rough spot. The start to the game is only going to make things harder. Now we get a replay in the picture and picture down here. Cabby found the first with the nade, but kickstart perfectly positions, finds one, and again, just no immediate follow. When you have him around the corner, if you're committing to that push, you got to follow up with it. Just seems like what Polish Power has been thriving on, what they've been so good at these up-close 4v4 fights. The communication is just not going through fast, and the synergy is a bit off.
Ooh. Oh no! Oh, he thought he got away with it.
And the rest of the 2 remaining players from FaZe were actually already starting to make their rotations on through, and Luke,
yeah,
he's in a car.
They're
is
already
he committed?
To kind of right the ship. It's not completely out of the question just yet that they can turn this around. But it is definitely not looking great so far. But 8C still alive. We'll see if he can collect a few more points as the circle does hard shift back over here. And crazily enough, 8C kind of close to dead center circle.
Might just be a top 3 game for him if the circles keep going where we've seen them go so far to the northeast ASI. In the meantime, the bottleneck that these teams went through the first time around, they're now all coming back via. $17 Gaming here, BBL here as well, Luminosity, we saw them make the aggressive play towards Vex and FaZe Clan, and now well, they get to reap the rewards of being him. Marco saying goodbye. Well, if you're gonna go down, it might as well be by my car.
Luminosity just happened to be in the perfect place at the perfect time for that rotation as they had finished off FaZe. Oh, Penta.
Do it for the highlight.
Bolty lads, you know we love them. BBL just sending it right into the north side of Yaz as they have looks like just the solo of 8C with a shotgun.
They're not going to be expecting this.
Bathroom 8C. Oh, he hits him.
Hey, wait, did he just headshot him outside? There's no way. I saw him get a headshot outside, but that must have been from someone else.
He's chasing him.
Wait, what?
Oh no!
Venderlust? Did he just run in and shoot Code Marco?
It kind of looked that way.
Need to calm the hell down. Guys, you're sitting in a good spot on the leaderboard right now. Relax. It is not over yet.
Oh, 8C still wants a piece of this too. This is solo 8C at work. We've seen some great solo plays so far this tournament. Can 8C turn in a new performance? Only 2 rounds loaded up in the 1897, but he is repositioned while the smokes have been blooming. See if BBL can figure out where he is.
Well, one thing's for sure, they hurt the shotgun and went off a couple of times. They are not eager to make any aggressive
No, they are not.
Speaking of pushes coming through, here's Petrichor making the play on forward. Do they expect what to be here? No, Marco, we see in the kill feed does find 8C, so Face out in 15th mil. First one to fall. Flood is so far alone, but Relo is coming to try and help.
And help he will. Kickstar gonna find a little bit of damage on United swarming. What a grenade from Relo. He puts it right in his pocket. Ming gets knocked incredibly low, but stays alive for the time being, and that's gonna keep Petrichor Road from getting absolutely swarmed right here. The rest of United just looking for the angles. They played
how much? Yeah. Well, if away this one. Some things I can jinx. This one I should not be able to jinx.
Well, would you rather it end in the city, Toby, or would you rather it end?
Given how disappointing that Picado ending was yesterday, I feel it now.
He's going to find Kurt through the window as Alo going to take a lot of damage from that grenade as well. Duck Juice is back on his feet, so see the Expendables.
Nade do it as well. Penta down, Purdy confirmed. This nade could be the end of them. No, not going to happen. Alo gets to stay alive, but for how much longer?
1 HP as well.
They still have a ways to make to the circle, because while they were fighting, Burram wrapped underneath, and now up and down towards the city once more. 17 Gaming not up being fully committed to the city just yet.
Oh my
Smash
goodness.
will force him inside though.
Barely gets away as United just on the other side of this cliff from Buriram. As they hear Gen G making their way past, they hear QM making their way past. Shots coming through onto QM from Take Me Away Gaming. They are in the wide open field somehow, some way. They are making it all the way into day trade. The shot's going to come through, but again, they have lost every tire. That US is about as busted as it could possibly be, but they make it.
How was it? Okay, day trade, I guess you just really want 2 players in between you. Go Marco, not so keen on having more people.
Did they hear it?
Neighbors on top of them. 5 HP for Asura, but they peek anyway.
I don't think they heard the car pull up. They had no idea that Gen G was right behind them. But look at this. I mean, the Asura, they will get the kills. They will finish off Petrichor Road, but Asura now the last one alive. But Gen G with 7 kills. That is a huge performance from them, something that we have not seen so far, Toby.
No, that's 0 kills just a minute ago, but all of a sudden, all kinds of hell breaks loose on Stalbot. Same thing happens in the city. Renba will get confirmed, so 1 still alive for Gen G, but potentially placement points to come here.
This fight has been taking a long time to play out here as Asura. He likes his spot. He's going to, just keep taking shots up there. Why not? As we take a look at the replay of Renba finishing off Tai Lu, and then Gen G just kind of swarming down on top, see what they can get anything else off.
And that's the thing, while we're taking a look at Burrow here as well, that's what I like to see. Gen G, thank you, finally, playing to their own advantages, doing what they're good at. You can fight, so go out and take those fights.
Exactly. It's almost felt like they don't feel like they can win those fights.
Yeah, it's a
crazy.
It's a rare experience seeing Gen G play without confidence. But that really, I mean, that's a great way to put it, Paul. That's been that's what I've seen from them. They don't dare take fights up against teams where in the past, I mean, they've run straight through.
Well, hopefully that fight might be the one. Shots in the three, all by himself on this high ground. Trying to keep Buriram from pushing.
The plays from Take Me Away here. Again, forcing. This is what Take Me Away has been doing with great success throughout the entire Group B so far. Force teams into one another, set up good third-party opportunities for yourself. Now 17, not opting to stop on their teammate, making the play on further forward. And once again, back to United and Take Me Away.
Well, looks like Snaker's going to bleed out before they can get there. Ooh, Flood almost had Lulu always. As he pulls away just in time. Crazy 1-1-2 with the grenade still. They know where Flood is, but Flood's kind of by himself on an island here. Kickstart and Rello, we're still dealing. It's going to go down. Rello's going to be up four up for Buriram here as they are cleaning up.
What a great response on this one as well. I did not see this before, but now I see Lulu playing with the Bison. Not something I've seen in Cheese will fall, and now all of a sudden the Bison main Lulu is all alone. Fortunately, Asura there to help, but as I say that, corpses Take Me Away.
Look at
Take
this.
a few more bullets towards him.
Wow. But for a heal, but that blue is hurting. There goes the server.
Pushes out, finally making the play on forward, but once again it's BBL finding the kills. They had a game 4 who came in and did not.
Buriram, and they go out in 9th place, but Wildcard down to 2 on this north side. They have the hill. Lulu always has about 20 crates that he can loot between E United and
to an SMG in competitive PUBG.
I will say, I don't think he cares too terribly much about guns right now. He is just looking for heals to see how long he can survive. Great.
Always short Sigma. The last Take Me Away game gets to stay alive. Those smokes only going to last them so long, though, and you can only imagine that Wildcard really soon will have eyes on what's going on down here. They're committing all their utility to try and get these kills.
Lulu is still alive.
Beware they
that's how
he's got
up inside the city. Donuts have made their way from the south side. The problem for them is that there are 2 snaky snakes, Levi's being one, with a currently in, as we just wait and see what Phase 7 decides to do. Smash might be able to hang out there, and if Daytrade gets a little bit too curious, might catch him slipping.
I mean, this is the result of the chaos that was Phase 4.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone died because we had little to nothing to play with other than the houses, which, as you can see, are already well occupied. So this is the quiet, the calm before the storm, because believe me, regardless of where the circle takes us, even though it might actually be quiet for yet another circle, it is going to be very active. Don't go to the bathroom now, because once this one pops off, it's going to go off, and it's going to go off wild. Unfortunately, for Lewis, not as wild as you might have hoped for, only finds one.
Sheesh. Okay, well, USG will be able to salvage that one. The circle going to cut hard, and it's going to be down on the south side. Now BBL will have to leave their apartment complex. Daytrade will have to leave as well. Wildcard will have to find something. I don't even know if Wildcard has any vehicles up there, but BBL
been running for a long time, so I doubt.
Well, what do you do if you're BBL here? I think you have to hold on to your apartment as long as possible because you know where Daytrade is, you know where Wildcard is.
I don't necessarily mind BBL allowing Daytrade to move in first. They know they're there, though. So, I mean, sit tight, hold them out for as long as you can. If they make the first move, use what time? 17. Oh my god, perfect. I mean, they have spent like 18 nades to try and get this angle, so it's only fair that they finally hit it. That next one from Smash could actually be the downfall of the entire team. Bounces off. No damage done, unfortunately.
They said we didn't watch the first one. We're definitely going to watch the second one.
If BBL allows for Daytrade to push through now and 17 does the, I guess, mistake in shooting at Daytrade, that could allow for BBL to push forward in the meantime. And here you go. Yeah, no cast for it's a goose hunt.
There's not really much a Wildcard could do. I mean, you can see they're throwing smokes down to try to survive a little bit longer. And yeah, Thendalos will find him. That'll be another kill in the pocket of BBL. And now Daytrade, they're going to put 3 in the Dacia and try to see where they're going to go. Oh my god.
I thought it was Marco who found them on Smash. Actually finds a double with the spray coming through. Last one forced out of the vehicle now. Norrens will fall as well. Keen going to be the one to find it, so point going in the favor.
They make it about 10
But that was one team, and you can see with that team out, 17 instantly starts to look towards the east. And nice smokes now, attack smokes, offensive smokes to deny vision.
Smash somehow doesn't go down to that. Okay, he'll go down to the second one though. As Little Ghost, nice little follow-up there. BBL pushing through with shotguns, but they haven't even seen anybody yet. The grenades are just beating them in the face.
Enough utility to work with still. They gotta make use of it. Go down. Is going to now pick it off the side. More nades coming through, but no damage done with them either. Thunderlost playing outside. Marco doing the same thing. Issue is with Donuts playing the north side of this, they cannot wrap around in that direction. You can see here, as soon as you're on the north side, you have the rest of the lobby looking your direction.
Toby.
Poro.
Luke 12 could win this.
Yes.
I don't think Korn.
They don't know that he's
They
there.
have no idea he's there.
They're all looking towards the southeast.
Nobody is looking towards his area. And look at where the final circle would be.
It's going to be on Americano.
Is right on Americano. Well, right near where Americano is, yeah. And oh my gosh. Okay, 17.
They give it to them.
They have a wall that they can work with. They haven't tried to look there just yet. I mean, Show is trying to see what he can find, but Korn, just beautiful shots. Not hitting, but at least forcing Show to pull back here.
Now I'm kind of curious. How many circles has Luke been set there for?
It's been a while.
4 circles?
It's
they came down when it shifted into the city. So that's a pretty good commitment, and it's paid off.
I mean, USG would have no reason to look up there. I mean, they came. Luke's been in here since before USG Donuts came from that south side and cleaned up what was left. As it's a nice spread that USG Donuts has here, though. They can find. I mean, you can see they just have angles on just about everything. The problem is that nobody really has to move until the circle comes through.
The best thing for them is that Luke does not have an angle towards them right now. He could move out into the open, but believe me, once the first bullet is fired, 17 BBL, they can see him as well. So limited what he can do, and as soon as he moves, that's where Korn goes, wait a minute, guys, I think I heard something. That's when you really start second-guessing your own judgment, because, well, he is there, but does he believe it?
Took a little bit of blue damage there, but again, was able to join up with teammate Code Marco, and once again, I mean, this is just waiting for the zone to come through, and now how many smokes do you got? I mean, you can see Donuts has quite a few. I think if you're Donuts, you just kind of got to prep up. You know where these guys are.
Yeah.
Smoke their areas off. Force them to fight their way out of the smoke.
If you're 9 billion IQ on this one, you have Shao. I was just going to say, play into the field, see if you can prone on down. And if you're lucky, with this angle, it's not going to happen. That nade is going to be good as well. I was going to say maybe there's a chance that shots are being fired to suppress from the side towards 17, but those nades are ringing in the ears of BBL. And 1 HP to work with 4 Code Marco. Are they committing to the rest here? There's no way.
Don't you even. There's no way he gets away with this, right? No, Code Marco just going to keep laying the smokes down, and he might be able to do it, but the grenades still come through. But now 17 has to be concerned about Donuts. Thunderlost still climbing through. Oh, unfortunately, he's going to hear that grenade and tries to back away, but unfortunately, he's not quick enough.
Smokes are fading. Luke has still yet to make a sound. So many different factors that could play into this one. Marco alive. And now Donuts pretty much been forced to take this fight with 17 because there's only so much space, and these two teams are the one with 3 and 4 alive.
It's all about the smokes right now. As Code Marco's still alive, but that smoke is about to fall away. Marco actually going to find Shawood with the Molotov, as now USG. They still have a little bit of a ridge to work with. Show very, very low. Little Ghost still alive. Luke 12 now on the move. I'm not sure if Korn has hurt him, though.
I don't think he has. They're shooting. There's so many comms being fed across right now that I would not fault him for not having heard what's happening right next to him. Wood does get flushed. DPS proves too lethal. Shiva, nice angle, doesn't seem initially, gets him the second time around, though damage already done with Shiva, but now Luke 12 shooting, finds the first, doesn't find the second.
Oh my god, Luke 12!
And just like that, it's a 1v1, Luke has to come out, spots
Luke
him,
12!
him, and Luke wins the game! 10 kills for Luminosity in a game that they should have never won!
Luminosity taking Snake to an entirely different level. Incredible play from Luke 12, and look at him laughing. He knows he got away with absolute murder.
To anyone out there who just got deafened by the yells of Poro and I, there is no way that should have happened, but then
in the 10 kills is going to be absolutely critical for them at the end of this day. But what an all-time late game performance from Lu12, and Gunner's there to let them know how much it's a
being the coach and you know, this has been sitting out back knowing exactly what's been happening, going, Luke, please, you gotta bring this home alone. Let's take a replay here. Luke gets one, gets the second, actually shoots to find the second, and then the end. A 1v1 peak battle. Luke had to come out. Fortunately for him, Spot still goes before doing so.
I mean, this is unreal, Toby. He never even had to leave the sniper tower, and he had everybody just complete lined up for him, and he spots out the last player. Cool.
That was absolutely phenomenal. And as you said, Poro, at the exact right time. They were at the cusp, they were close, they were sat almost tied for 8th place coming into this one. This game is gonna bounce them way up the leaderboard.
Well, I appreciate everybody letting us talk about this one a little bit more, even getting to see the replay, but I gotta hear what Avenger and Kalaris have to say about this one.
Ludicrous here coming out from Lu12, Luminosity. All the L's in the chat, but it wasn't an L at all. It was a W. We have got ourselves an amazing win, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why even when you're solo in squads, you always keep going. Luke12 with an absolutely amazing
to end the game for Luminosity, and that's also why you have to remember, it's so important to remember and track the kill feed as good as you can. Otherwise, you're going to forget that there's a rat somewhere sitting, waiting to absolutely demolish you and the other last team there. What a perfect time to pop out there for Luke. And 20 points to boot as well, because they had a really good run through it as well. They had a lot of kills throughout in ES9 and the fight in general. Some rough fight with the Expendables. And in general, I love these rough urban endings here. In general, once we saw that second circle, we saw still had ES9 in and still had in general, you know, the water and stuff like that. Yeah, it just ended up being a complete annihilation of all the teams trying to get in there late.
Yeah, a rough urban ending, and the fact that it happens and it goes down this way for Luke12, it's, you have to time it exactly right. The top, they are 11 away from region.
And I'm so but a fourth, that's 12 points for them. With 21 smokes, 14 grenades. The amount of utility in this late game here was insane. 26 smokes and 17.
Yeah, from the apartments there, and even in the very final moments, Comarco trying to make a run for it. I think we saw, you know, utility being dropped extra for him as he's trying to move through those fields. And I thought to myself, well, that field actually might give him a little bit of cover for the moment, because everybody's kind of on this similar level in terms of vision, but it wasn't to be the case. Difficult for them to get further. I expected maybe a little bit more pressure for them on towards 17. So to dislodge shed where maybe it could have been more.
With like 5-6 more smokes, they could maybe made a lot more kind of offensive smoke path rather than a defensive one, as we saw here. Wow, we saw Thunderlost go down. But yeah, Comarco managed to get one of the knocks onto 17 game, and that kind of dislodged their game a little bit. But then Luke struck.
Let's watch it again.
And managed to get everything completely on a lockdown here. Shiva did not expect this here. They even had DPS for the late game. I love to see that.
I like that, yeah.
Oh yeah. In this case, Luke.
The tracking of the target as well.
He's a fantastic mechanical player. I think he's going to end up on most damage as well overall for Group B after 9 games.
That's 20 points going their way. They're going to be bumping themselves up very nicely in that top 8. Where are they now?
They're going to be ending up in 4th place, just after Tyloo.
Lovely stuff. So great for him, great for Luke, great for Luminosity. BBL are 12 points in the bag. That means they're going to be solidifying themselves in that top 8 so far. And you know what? A name I didn't expect to be encroaching on that top 8. Donuts, USG. They're making a run for it here, Avenger.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing. If they're able to get consistent into that, that would be sick. Yeah, they are kind of close. I think they're going to be within, you know, 6-7 points of top 8 currently after this game. So looking fantastic for them. 17 Gaming, I like what I'm seeing from them though. They're kind of starting a little bit more. Some kills, some good placements in this case here. If they can continue their campaign, they might be able to push themselves into the top 8 too. Take me away again. They do sit in the top 8 still, and with this here 7 kills for them, that means that they're kind of going to add on top of that. They had obviously a great start on day number 1, and now they put in a little bit on top of here for day number 2, because they had a bit of a rough one so far.
7. That is usually what we would categorize as hero mode. However, Come on, let's be real. This was kind of gumbo.
That was sick. A sick clutch. Honestly, loving what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
And because obviously he had the amount of damage he had a few steals here and there. So that's what I'm and some kills where they are already super damaged. But that's knowing when to strike is that what clutches you the game and the win.
To note as well, before we got into this game, I did say it looked like Gen.G was a bit lost, but they've got themselves some decent points.
They are in the stage.
I think it was, yes, they are. They didn't get lost on their way to the stage, but I think they got 8 points on there. So a little bit of a bump up, but still needs a lot more.
There's obviously a lot to talk about here. Wildcard able to solidify themselves inside the top here, but BBL with a huge performance. 7th place now. Expendables and Take Me Away tied on 64. Luminosity jump into 4th, as I'll talk about this, but still pacing a little bit behind Tyloo and everyone else in the top 3. As we were talking about, the top 3 is guaranteed. But there's, if you struggle, if you choke, there's a lot of spots up for grabs. If you're as a 17 Gaming or Donuts or Question Mark, have a few good games.
A loss for Question Mark, it feels like right now. They were in that top 8 for a bit. They've fallen out of it a little here, and that's definitely not exactly where they want to be. So they're going to have to change things, tweak things around a little bit whilst we get into this final game. But there is still 5 more games.
Only 1 point in this game, right? So once you have, they had a 3rd place with 7 before, so that put them in the top, and now with all the other teams that are in our mid-pack that've been able to have some really good performances throughout here this game, then it's going to change up. Again, talks to how close our mid-pack is at and how close that top 8 currently is still.
All right, well, we're going to go to a break. When we're back, we'll have more from PGC. Just 1 more game remaining for today. The top 8 looking to put themselves in firm stance. We'll see you soon.
지금 젠지 선수들이 촬영을 하고 있는 것 같은데 한번 가볼까요? 오늘 프로필 촬영 잘 하셨어요?
네.
저희 인터뷰 하나 짧게 하려고 하는데
아, 네.
잠깐 같이 가실까요?
왜 이렇게 갑작스럽게?
원래 이렇게 갑작스럽게 하는 거죠. 다른 분들도 다. 저게 누구죠? 디지털 선수가 여기서
아니, 어디
같이
가세요?
한번 가실까요?
아니, 어디를요?
같이 한번 인터뷰 하실래요?
더 껴주시면 좋죠.
같이 가시죠. 두 분 과거가 있으시잖아요.
과거가 있다는 건 무슨 말이지?
We're here with 2 Korean players from Big Oppa and Gen.G, and because I'm Korean and 2 players are Korean, I'm gonna do the interview in Korean. 정말 갑작스럽게 요청했는데 촬영해주셔서 정말 감사드리고요. 네, 정식으로 본인 소개 한번 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 배고파의 디지구팔입니다.
안녕하세요. 젠지 포츠팀의 이노닉스입니다.
이렇게 두 분을 모시게 된 이유가 과거에 같은 팀에서 몸을 담았던 기억이 있어서 이렇게 한번 모셔보게 됐는데 되게 오랜만에 보시죠?
공석에서는 오랜만에 보고 사석에서는 좀 봤고.
저 사실 은퇴를 하셨었는데 이렇게 다시 배고파로 도전을 한 거를 봤을 때 어땠어요? 동료로서, 친구로서.
보기 싫었나요?
그건 아닌데 있을 때 좀 잘하지. 나가니까 더 잘하니까 이게 약간.
그래도 팀에서 에이스였던 형들을 다 모아서 하다 보니까 조금 프로 할 때보다 좀 수월했던 것 같고.
본인도 에이스?
당연하죠.
그렇죠. 이노닉스 선수라고 하면은 되게 선수들의 선수 느낌도 있고 오늘만 해도 데이트레이드 선수가 이노닉스 꼭 만나보고 싶다고.
ก็มีปิโออินโนนิครับ
I love Inonix personally. He's my favorite player.
근데 이노닉스가 보고 싶은 선수는?
저는 이제 패트릭 포로즈.
엑스레프트? 아직 못 만났어요?
오늘 아침에 봐서 같이 사진도 찍고 갔을 때 캐나이 테이프 포토하면서 한 장 찍고 왔습니다.
선수로서는 진짜 좀 인정받는 선수지만 뭔가 좀 글로벌 대회에서의 성적이 조금 아쉬울 것 같아요.
19년도에 PGC 못 간 게
제가 그 자리에 있었죠.
그때 못 간 게 좀 아쉬웠던 것 같아요. 본의 아니게 좀 긴장을 좀 하는 것 같기도 하고.
우승 경험 있으시잖아요. 긴장을 푸는 법 한번 좀.
사람들의 이제 관심을 이제 원하게 되면은 환호성 들으면 막 너무 잘하나? 사실
그런 느낌.
좀 삐를 타는 살짝 그런 느낌.
그러면 이번에는 할 수 있겠다. 제가 2번 나갔는데 2번 다
관중이.
무관중이었거든요.
이번에는 저희 그랜드 파이널 가게 되시면 관중의 환호성을 느끼면 조금 더 이번 PGC 때는 잘할 수 있겠다 이런 느낌이
확실히
있어요.
아드레날린이 많이 붙는 것 같긴 해요. 게임에 영향이 갈 것 같긴 해요, 지금.
이번 PGC 이만은 가고.
한국팀이 트로피를 올린 게 좀 오래됐기도 했고, 물론 제가 들진 않았지만 젠지 팀에서 이제 트로피를 들어봤기 때문에 느낌을 살려서 이번에는 저희 한국팀이 트로피를 들 수 있게끔 노력 많이 하겠습니다.
저희가 이렇게 4가지 키워드를 준비를 했는데요.
사운드로 가겠습니다.
사운드 먼저 한번 가겠습니다. 이거는 아주 일단
예.
그 팍스까지 맞추셔야 돼요.
예?
한번 들어보시면 알 거예요.
너무 쉽다.
어려울 것 같아.
플레이하겠습니다.
뭐야, 버퍼링 걸렸대? 안 들려요? 안 들려요?
몇 번까지 들을 수 있는 거예요?
계속 나오는데?
이거 아마 베릴의 소음기? 맞아요?
아닙니다.
뭐야? 이거 아니야? 아니.
이날 순서 한번 들어보실래요?
들어만 볼게요.
뭐? 잠깐만. 베릴 소음기가 아니라고?
이거 못 들었다고?
예?
아니, 이거 못 들어볼 리가 없잖아.
이거 뭐지? 엄프 소음기?
아닙니다.
에이스 소음기? 뭐예요?
아니, 어떻게 된 거야?
예?
최초로 못 맞추시는 분이 나오나요?
뭐예요?
정답은요, 토미건 소음기요. 이거 들어본 거 맞죠? 이제 알고는 들으니까 들리죠?
일단 넘어가 보실까요?
이미지로 가겠습니다.
이게 어딜까요?
이거 너무 쉽다. 진짜 너무 쉽다.
이럴 줄 알았다고요.
제가 다른 걸로 바꿀 기회 드리겠습니다. 진짜 너무 쉬워요, 이거.
이게 맨날 볼 텐데.
이거 너무 쉬워요. 이거.
저희 어머니도 알아요, 이거. 진짜.
한 번 더 기회 드리겠습니다.
문제 내겠습니다.
여기가 어디냐? 진짜 쉽긴 하다.
모른 척 조금 해주면 안 돼?
모르죠. 이거 어디지? 여기 거기잖아. 미야마의 거긴데.
축하드리겠습니다.
혹시 기회 한 번밖에 없나요?
네.
그럼 한 번에 맞추겠습니다. 라벤디타.
와! 최초 탈락자가 나오게 돼서 좀 유감스럽긴 한데요. 이노닉스 선수에게는 선물 증정식이 원하시는 거 하나를 고르시면 됩니다.
이건 열쇠인데? 이거 키링이야. 저리가. 이거는 딱 보니까 이거 축구공인데? 카타르 월드컵 알려주는 거 아닌가요?
오?
이거 뭐지? 이거 그거다. 이거 두바이에서 제일 높은 그거. 이걸로 하겠습니다.
네, 그러면 MC의 권한으로
네.
디지거펠 선수 하나 드리기 위해서 이노닉스 선수가 골라주는 걸로 합시다.
그러면
뭐해?
아까 봤더니 수건 같은 걸로 하겠습니다.
싫어. 당신 보이죠?
다른 걸로 해드려요?
뭐냐고.
안 보여요. 근데 이건 뭐야?
이거 실사로 주는 거예요?
아름답게 이제 선물 나눠 가진 걸로 하고 PGC 2022
젠지
배고파?
화이팅!
in hand. Everybody's got a gun, but no knocks have been found just yet. Tong will find one. Sia will find one. Diggory gets the trade as FaZe and Ty Lu scrapping off right at the beginning of the game. Diggory, the last one alive, and he's going to go down, and just like that, FaZe Clan is out.
Ty Lu says no. And oh my lord, is there a team you do not want to have to hot drop if you're currently sat in last place? These guys have literally got nothing to lose in hot dropping you, and you know what? This was not a FaZe where you just kind of adapt. They know there are many teams around them. You can see it on the map stream as well.
Yeah.
FaZe had to take this fight, and Ty Lu actively wanted this fight. Because they want to have this area for themselves coming into the finals. They want an alternative drop spot should they not be able to get to North George. I think Milta is something they want to claim. It's not going to be theirs guaranteed, but it could be something they want to.
That is up for the analysts and coaches and those boys to decide. We had those technical difficulties on that one day. It means that they have to come back here tomorrow. No day off, Toby. They have to come back here tomorrow with no rest, which could be good or could be bad. All things considered, we'll see what happens as we check in with Gen G up in South George. They've got Polish Power just off to the north. Gen G also signs of life last game.
Yeah. Currently 2 teams shooting at you, one of which is Wildcard Waikiki move count. Headshot connected, ED caught in the middle of the open. Not imagine that there's a risk coming through on that one.
Chexing going back for that one as they've got the smoke laid down. Yep, ED gonna get finished off, and now Chexing might be just in no man's land at this point. The smoke's still there, and he's gonna hide behind the UAZ. We'll see if Canaxi can maybe find an angle, but Cal's already looking for it. Adam, I think, heard the injury of Naradra is coming over there to see if he can provide some support to his teammate, and he will do towards Canaxi.
I want to be the ham in.
Sure, indeed.
And I don't think Buran would want to either, unfortunately. Well, they don't really have a choice right now. Canaxi trying to see if he can get somewhere safe. He might jump down on the ferry, I don't know. Try and see if there's a hero playing in the making for you, but well, if you want to do it, it has to be now.
Well, there's about to be a 4th entrant into this party here. Is now Ty Lu trying to leave. I mean, they're just sharing whatever they can find. I mean, it's not like they've had a whole lot of space to loot, but look, they are completely surrounded by E United, or CC108 is at least, as he tried to creep into Milta, but E United, it looks like they're going to be the next one to contribute to this clown fiesta.
And here we see a bit of a replay of what happened last game. I believe it was one of the FaZe players. I might have called it wrong because everything was happening so fast. I think one of the FaZe players actually managed to pick up a barrel, but with everyone sprinting around pretty much ridgeline is keeping him safe for now, but
Oh
instantly
my
turns
God.
around. Norrens able to get the second, will he spot the third? Yes, he will, but he won't win the fight. So close. What an attempt from Norrens. Unfortunately, though, falls just short.
Oh, so close to the hero play, and now Belmoth, he's coming over here to see what he can do. I think he obviously got fed the information over from his teammate. Gonna take a spray into the smoke cloud, not gonna find anything, and might as well just keep it going. Phil first, a few bolties being so. Oh, that one hits actually. Okay, yeah, go ahead, get on out of there, Belmoth. See if you can survive a little bit longer.
I mean, for day trade, yes, it's an unfortunate way to finish the day, but look at where they are on the leaderboard. 83 points. They're sitting pretty damn tight. And if today's performance is anything to go by, I'm sure they're going to be pretty comfortable coming in tomorrow. Even though, again, last game of the day didn't exactly go the way they wanted to. Might not be the case for Keen here either. If Happy can hit the shots, doesn't manage to do so. And Crunio, fortunately, is there to help out.
Crunio there, as he said, this is all going on out way outside of circle. They'll go ahead and finish out Keen as Corn and Americana popping out. Looking over in this direction, I think they're just kind of covering Shava to make sure he's okay, and yep, they'll just disengage from that fight altogether. But Polish Power pick up a point for themselves. Gen G, meanwhile, coming in with the blue on the north side. Worth noting that nobody is anywhere near that western bridge over to Millie Island, so Gen G actually going to get a free rotation.
Well, the thing is, we know that. If you're Gen G, you're not just instantly
Well, and
driving across. You gotta stop and scout. You gotta play it smart. And Donuts, yeah, they are coming in, but you'd have to imagine that Gen G gets the jump on that position should they opt to continue at the speed they're going with right now. Petrichor making a landfall in Novo as well, as more and more teams, if not almost all of them, have made their way down towards military. Just so the circle can shift back to farm, because that could happen.
Oh. Waikika got caught out somewhere along the line here for wild card. I'm not sure if that was E-United or if maybe Bury Ram managed to catch him, but either way, wild card down to 3, holding that intersection as we wait for the circle to finish collapsing. And there's Gen G, all 4 in vehicles, pulling up on that western bridge just ahead of USG Donuts. Now you can see Shiva leading the way here, getting pretty close. We'll see how close they get. Gen G just taking their time with this one. And Polish Power not too terribly interested about making their way over just yet as well.
New circle's gonna pop. Well, it was not to be found.
Radar tower. Nobody up there just yet.
And I mean, if you're wildcard, you have to know. I mean, at least assume that there's no one there. They were the team to land down here. They were the team to loot here. They were the team to set up and wait for everyone. They're instantly going. Makes perfect sense. No reason to wait around. Might as well just take the hilltop.
They absolutely know, and they're going to go ahead and send it on up there. Nico's actually going to take a few shots, I believe, from Petrichor Road over in Novo. Either way, that's opening up the door here for E-United to make their way across the bridge as well. So nice job on their part to keep eyes open and see that wildcard had left.
Seeing Tyloo cross over here as well, straight into the open arms of the Expendables. That might be a fight to come. 4 in a boat, out they go. Pushing on forward. 17 Gaming got eyes on this as well. So if you're Tyloo or Fiddle, you got to commit to the fight onto the granny now. But if you're, I mean, if you're Expendables, you're not exactly in the best position here either. Now the push comes through. Jump comes through. 1 down, and we're looking at 2 fights now.
Decided to try to make the push up. They're going to find out Adam. Greg Shot will trade off onto Lulu always. The grenade comes through, but it's not going to fall close enough. Greg Shot waiting for Crazy. Land goes. They not get this guy down. Unfortunate that the spray's just not doing what they need to do. There you go. Nikos will find Crazy as now the rest up UFAM, but no knocks being found.
They got a hard commit to this as well. They know damage has come through. They know they have a knock to play around as well. Issue is the United, as you can see in the minimap. They are closing in on this. 1 found. Either way, 1v1 to follow. Nikos with the 3-piece, able to take out instantly to follow. So the 2 fights come to an end, pretty much synchronized. United coming up the hillside. Well, this should be theirs for the taking.
God, I wish we could have seen that transfer from Nikos, because that had to be absolutely filthy. They were not right on top of each other. He had to find that, and I think he has these engines. He's just running. E-United. I mean, great awareness on the part of E-United. I mean, they see Wildcard in the kill feed. They know exactly where Wildcard would have decided to go and immediately chase it right behind. So Nikos will just do his best mountain goat impersonation and try to get on out of there, and we'll see if he can get away with it.
Usually at this point in the game, you wouldn't maybe expect there to be a full team sitting.
in the compound down below. Issue for Nikos is, well, got all the burrow around there already waiting, and if anyone, for any reason
just
at
sit
all,
here forever.
looks up towards the hilltop, they might just see Nikos in the nearby vicinity. Greg will die.
He decided to end it all.
You know what,
He
you might
just
as
sent it
well. If
off
you're
the
bleeding
side.
so much anyway, you might as well just jump off a cliff and get it over
To be
with.
fair, denying a point from E United. There you go.
Yeah, because they needed it, right? They definitely needed that point.
Real close contest there. Flood, meanwhile, is going to spot out Naradra dancing around in the compound just below Canaxi. Will take a few shots back just to pull him away, but 3x spray not as accurate as you would like from that distance. One bad thing for United, they just don't have any real long-range scopes, it doesn't look like.
I mean, they were rotating for quite a while.
Yeah.
They cross on over, they get the good timing on the push up towards the hillside. And you know what? Rather have the position than the scopes, but no position to play with.
Belmont, last one standing. There you go. Smash will pick that one up, and that's a nice point in the pocket of BBL as the new circle does pop, and it goes pretty much exactly where you'd expect it to, favoring a little bit to the west of that radio tower. Wildcard will get eliminated as well as Flood does spot out Nikos in his sneaky spot. And we are down now to 40 alive, 11 teams remaining. It has been... The end of the day has been nothing, Toby, if not fast and efficient in our final games.
You'd almost imagine this was the final day of the event, but or the final day of the group stage. But we do have another game to play tomorrow. Thing is, there are some of these teams, 2 of which are eliminated now, that are pretty much guaranteed to qualify. And we're starting to see some of these plays where they're playing a little more with less pressure on their shoulders, so to speak, allowing themselves to go for aggressive plays early, to try and deny some of these teams that they don't want to have to deal with in the winner's bracket from making their way on through. That's why we see all the drop on towards FaZe Clan. That's why we've seen some of these hard commit plays early on, where normally in like tournaments where everyone's at 0, you'd maybe hesitate a bit more before fully committing to aggressive plays this early on in the game.
Well, United, not the type of team to play fast and loose in any game, let alone the last game of the day. They have been dealing with a chip on their shoulder all year long in the form of Sonics and people questioning who the best team in North America is. They firmly believe that they are, and they are here to prove not only that, but that they could be the best team in the world. And so far, so good for the boys from E United.
They've been performing well, no doubt about it. Looking forward to see them play in the winners bracket. We'll see if they get to maintain control of Shelter, if they opt to try and go back to fight for Milita potentially. Not that I expect that to be the case, but you never know. You never know. We will have a whole new set of potential hot drops coming into both the winners and the losers bracket.
That will be exciting for sure, as we see Donuts back on the move. A little bit of fire coming from Gen G. That one's actually going to land. Nice shoot from an Onyx as Shava will stay alive for the time being. And Americano taking the low ground, Shava taking high. It looks like USD Donuts will stay alive for a little bit longer.
I'm surprised the rest of the team doesn't follow Shiva up the hillside again. I mean, they're coming in blind for this one. They have no clue where they're going. Again, this next circle will go away from the water. Shiva does fall as well. But had they opted to go north around, even with the next circle shifting away, again, they're coming in with no info, and that's what they're running into. Hobbits finds one, Filfords finds the other. That is Donuts out. If you're playing Edge anyway, if you're playing it slow, go up into the forest. Yes, the next circle will shift north, but now you have the high ground. Now you have the position to scout your way forward, see what's available, and then make the committed play. There's no reason to rush it. There's no reason to hurry, but they opt to do so, and they pay for it.
Yeah, maybe overthinking on the part of USG Donuts, but you know, they don't have the same vision that we do. They don't know that hillside, that southern hillside, is completely empty. Although, you know, they never got shot at from it, so that's one indication that maybe that would have been available. But either way, Donuts out and in 11th place, still within striking distance of that top 8. So not the worst day here for them, as they still got 5 games remaining. United still hanging out on the top of radar, and they can do so, continue to do so for the foreseeable future. Down to 37 alive, 10 teams remaining, 17 minutes in, Toby.
South side still very available for teams to utilize as rotation can come through. Luminosity not wanting any of that. They're going straight towards the east into the circle. Almost having a run over. Fortunately, Halo is fine. As I say that, not quite the case. The Doozy on the money with that first nade. Second one, Molly to follow. Not finding any targets.
Yeah, that might be the only grow. Dante's got plenty of grenades in the pocket as the next one's going to come in. Ooh,
that car might actually hit. Oh, Pez.
Yeah.
240 damage. That is. It's one of those movies where there's a nade and someone just jumps on it to try and save his friends. That's pretty much what that looks like.
Well, they're not done yet.
True.
Luke's sticking the res on the Alo right now. The grenades are going to continue to come through. I mean,
now they're done.
Yeah, now they're done. Unfortunately, Purdy was just not in a spot where he could defend his teammates.
No.
I mean, he was kind of over here trying to look over in that direction, but unfortunately for him, 17, just they had the angle on him. He couldn't protect anybody, and now Curdy will have to play this one out as a solo, most likely. QM, that is some points that they definitely needed, though.
Yeah. Well, let's see if Burram can steal anything away. They've heard all the explosions down below, but they're also well aware they have a team nearby. Look at this. Narada is actually pushed up close and on his own.
Oh.
Phil first, though, saw him prone in the field, and it doesn't get much easier than that when you got a bolt in hand. Able to get that one. They will have heard Gen G rabbing behind them as well. So now, if you're a question mark, you got to figure. Do we shoot downhill to the north for potential easy kills, or do we try and fence off against Gen G, who could be pushing our way? Phil first again, finding these targets standing still and doing so at max range.
Bolt boys. Stand up. Phil first. Beautiful stuff here from him. Question mark now up to 8 kills. And this is absolutely huge for them. You see they have now climbed up into that 7th place spot, securing themselves a top 8 spot here. Still 5 games to play, but yeah, that is exactly where they wanted to be, especially after a first day that was just not that great.
Yeah, they finally managed to turn things around here. Again, United. I mean, if there's a team you just don't want to have sit up here and shoot at everything, that's the team who literally doesn't need these kills. That's the biggest pain in wherever that would be to you, is to have them just sit up there and be a nuisance to the entire lobby. And now they get to stay there.
Toby, the last time I saw United have this spot was in, I believe it was PCS 7. And at one point, I believe both Snakers and Kickstart had over 1,000 damage.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be the case by the end of this one. All depends on how much ammo they got to work with.
Yeah, not only that, how many bodies are left on the table. 29 still alive, 9 teams up. United can still hang out there. On the south side, it looks like Petrichor Road running into Gen G. The shots come through, no knocks, and now Gen G aware that they are about to have a fight on their hands.
Petrichor has been playing up foot from Novo since phase 2. Gen G, they park their vehicles further behind. I like the disengage here from them. While I said I wanted to see them go aggressive, Inonix is the trail player. He's the contain to make sure no one is doing, well, essentially the exact same rotation they did themselves. So nice disengage. Fortunate for Gen G that Petrichor doesn't opt to commit to it, because that could have easily been a 4v3 in the favor of Petrichor.
Yeah, it looked like they kind of spooked each other when they ran into each other. So Gen G immediately pulled back to Inonix off to the west. Petrichor immediately pulls back to the east, heading back up to the north. There's a lot of space for them to work with there as well, should they decide to do that. Kickstart taking a few shots over here towards Polish Power, but the U.S. protecting them for the time being. I mean, well, I mean, you could look at their ammo. They're starting to run a little bit low.
Now would be the time for Petrichor to make a play on the roadside here, because all the United players look towards the north. As I said, Relo isn't, but Kickstart is, and he's finding damage while doing so. Marcelik flushed as Polish Power try to make their way on into the circle. Junio is here, but it's far from safe for them yet. Petrichor trying to cross the road. Now they're starting to get shot up by everyone too.
Ooh, milled down to 1 HP as Gen G send it 4 deep in the vehicle. And look at Phil First has a grenade ready and waiting. Asura down to 1 HP. Phil First adds another one to his total, as now out of the last one up. He's going to go down. Give Phil First the whole team. Oh, wait, no, it's Dante that gets the last one, but Phil First doing a whole bunch of damage. Question mark. They have stepped it up here today. 12 kills now, Toby.
They do not want to come into day 3 sitting at bottom 8. They made damn sure of that. Unfortunately for Smash now, no lethal utility to work with. He's entire stat inside the shack, but there's little to nothing he can do about it. Relo now from the side finds one again. This up the hill angle, such a pain for these players to deal with. They want to deal with the threats nearby, but they constantly have to worry about United from above.
Well, while these fights are going on, unfortunately, Question Mark gets taken out. They finish with 12 kills, and now Petrichor trying to take the fight here to BBL. They still got 4 up. They've got a smoke wall laid down. And we are almost 4 teams, Toby. Only 5 left alive.
They're going to be running straight into BBL here.
They're literally running into this rest happening, and they're wrapping around at the exact wrong time. Now the flashes are coming through. They might just have flashed their teammates, but it worked out for them. As I say that, though, Mill does manage to find one, and on the backside of the smoke, Smash trying to make a play. He's hearing the footsteps, he's hearing the shots being fired, but can't quite get the angle now. Spots one, finds one, but goes down. Mill, welcome back. Finds two, and BBL out in 5th.
And look at this. United trying to crash down on that as quickly as they can, but it's just too far away, too much terrain in the middle of them. Flood is just sending it in. He's going to hear the footsteps of Ike's left, I believe.
Yep, instantly drops the flash on forward as well. But look at this, the wraparound from 17. They were down towards the west side. They were the ones to deal with Luminosity in the end of it. Now they've gotten to backfill with little to worry about. We're seeing the nade there again from Phil first. On point, using the calm cover. Shots being fired from Sherwood now. That is perfect. Look at this. As soon as those shots come through, Petrichor instantly down the hillside. They know now they've got a threat from behind.
Yeah, that was really great awareness on the part of Petrichor Road, and now Xiaowu, the rest of Show, trying to make a push here.
Yeah, Shu and Sushu are starting to slowly kind of push up and creep up behind them, but because Xiaowu starts shooting from the bottom left, that completely gave up that push. Look at this. I mean, Petrichor now, all eyes towards the west here. That could have been a perfect ambush, but Xiaowu, trigger discipline, not quite there.
Yeah, kind of gave up the game a little bit there. See a few stranded items there on the high ground. Snakers, a little bit of an angle there, but really long-range shots coming in. Petrichor Road should be just fine. We are down to our top 4. Buriram still alive. They still have the compound. It's just Cheksing and Knaxi hanging out in there. United, they've got 4 up. And 17, Soju and Show still pushing over in that direction.
While this sounds kind of rude, and I know we're standing right next to United, I kind of want them to die now without any more kills. Just because I feel like there are other teams that need the points more. But of course, as soon as I say that, Snake says, you know what, we ain't done shooting just yet. Ming falls down. Will the push come through because of it? And Snake, I mean, he's essentially sheep-herding these two teams in towards one another.
He sure is, and some good shots going to land right there. The Show just underneath these more grenades, but I think he just wants to get a little bit of vision to see him. He's actually going to send it.
It's
good
Rello.
Shot from Rello, going to pull him away though. And Show, he's got so much utility, he's not even going to use it. Ike's left will take him out. Show's going to find Mill with a grenade, but just like that, 17 down now to just Xiaowu.
This is the PUBG equivalent of playing with your food. United just not allowing them any time to fight one another, constantly being there, doing damage. You talked about a potential player coming into 1,000 damage. I would not be surprised if we're seeing some of these United boys up there after this game. 668 so far for Flood. Headshot confirmed as he breaches into 700.
Oh. Flood absolutely wants a piece of that, and why not give him a little bit of circle as well. Wow. Cheksing already made it over to the cliffside for Buriram, as these points for placement for Buriram could be huge, but Petrichor, I mean, they need a little bit more for themselves. They got to start the climb now.
The fact that Petrichor still has 4 up, they have to make the committed play across. They spot Gen G, manage to back off. Then they take the aggressive fight to BBL. They get pushed on the shack, have to push through the smokes of BBL to take the fight to them, and they come out from all of that alive. If there is a time for the team currently sat in 13 to wake the hell up and start to get things going, that is now. And if Petrichor is coming tomorrow with just a sliver of what we're seeing here in the final game, they're going to be dangerous.
Pero
underneath?
They're on the move. They've got the UAZs. They're going to send... Oh, no! At least he didn't knock him off the cliff completely. Never mind. His kickstart now has the angle. Xiaowu! Two of them, and Petrichor is down to just 1. It's just going to be... He'll take a few shots back at Xiaowu, keep him a little bit honest, but no more angles to be found. There you go, Pill. Oh, nice shot from Mill, keeps him alive, but Ming goes down to Xiaowu, and now Kickstart just spraying it down on Buriram.
This is a blessing off of the worst caster clips I think I've ever managed to pull off. The fact that no one's near them to get the kills. They will get, if not all 4, then at least 3 back up alive. Snakers does find Mill, but Reses will come through on, you know what, as I say that, at least just 1. United, they had 2 wins yesterday, and they're looking to claim their 2nd today as well. This is absolutely insane.
Unfortunately, Petrichor in that one either, and yep, you can see Kickstar just sending it over. He wants his grenade to be the one that falls right on top. Rello will get his out first. It's going to go a little bit long, does some damage to Mill, but they are on the move. They are trying to find different places to work here. Kickstart knows exactly where Mill is. He's going to come over the top. He'll spot him out, gets the first knock. Does he know where Ikesleft is? Ikesleft just going for the low ground, trying to survive a little bit longer here. Not even sure why you're down. It's a 1v4, Ikesleft.
United making it look easy. That Molly is going to be baited off the back. Damage comes through. Doesn't go into it. Snake gets knocked as it jumps off the cliffside. Goes to show how much they want the kills. In the end, it's going to be Flood to find it. And once again, United come out victorious. What a hell of a performance from EU in this tournament so far.
4 wins in 10 games, Toby. United has stamp on Group B so far.
And it's 2 on a Wrangler. Like, they're not feeling more dangerous in the winner's bracket. This is insane. You can see the smiles on their faces. At this point, no jumping around and saluting anymore. They know they're through already, and despite that, they add this buff on top now.
I mean, you can't be playing with any more confidence than these guys are right now. I mean, they are just sent over. Nobody sees them. And the United in first place. I think three of them are in the top 5 of total damage done in the group right now.
And they might just have all 4 of them in there after this game because they were shooting at everything they saw. Well, that's the end of today. Let's take it back to the desk and allow them to break down day 2 of Group B.
That's right, thank you guys, and yes, we're painting the town Americas here for this one. It has been just an absolute blast from United coming in to Luminosity, had a previous win, and then United before all of that. It is all over. America, America, America Avenger.
Yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing, and also, I swear, I've seen Poro grow another 2 inches / 5 centimeters today just because America's.
Wow.
He's so proud. You know, it's going through. But we got to talk about this. The contest on Crossroads with Tyloo and FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan wanted to make sure that they had this in case Tyloo did not go North George.
But they loved it.
With this plane path here and Tyloo, they loved it. And they lost a straight-up fight. All 4 dropped in the same location-ish. And then they got into that. Kind of messy, but then again, you have these military games and it happens up. That nade was literally on top of him.
Hot potato, but on that one, we've got ourselves as well, question mark. Really putting it in against some of the teams trying to push up against their positioning. The one thing I was a little bit apprehensive, though, is that they kind of moved away from the eventual Buriram compound that came along. And yeah, as we go into the lighter stages of this game as well, we saw, unfortunately for Petrichor Road, they put themselves in the Petrichor Road we've been seeing throughout the group as a whole so far.
And considering how close our, 6th, 7th till 11th is right now, with one really good start with the day tomorrow, they'll to be United and Americas has been looking fantastic so far for PGC group stage. See more consistent, otherwise they're not going to end up in our winners bracket.
Yeah, they've come out swinging. I love it, considering that they have so many candidates for great performances up towards the top 2, the Americas region here. So 2,400 damage coming from them. I mean, they took Radio Tower, and I think the most important thing is they took it at the
The third party. Perfect third party there for United. I love what I'm seeing. Wildcat, they had to dodge. Very good to see Trevor walking in here from United, just showing it's easy for United. It's good to see the happiness on these guys now that they're through, guaranteed to go.
Absolutely.
Of course, to winners bracket with 5 games to go. That can create some scary moments from potential other teams that they don't want to see, because they're obviously, if you have some of these teams that can be strong, the more games that they play, the more comfortable they get onto the land here, they can easily have a situation where they hot rope somebody, gatekeep somebody, third party somebody to try to make sure they don't get a top 8.
It also makes it, when we're watching these final moments once again, it also makes it interesting for these teams at the top that now pretty much know guaranteed that they are going through to the winners bracket. Yeah. They can start preparing now with their coaching teams, with their management teams, etc., and things like that. They can look across
the pond, I was going to say, the other group, and see which teams have already advanced and start assimilating information from them. It's going to be very important for the 2 days of the winners bracket. So this gives them decent peace of mind for EU United up towards top, along with some other names in the standings. But these are the points coming in from this game. Another decent game for a question mark, actually. 13 points going their way.
Yeah, that's going to push them nicely into the top 8. Patrick wrote their first really good game or decent game here forward. Happy to see that, but this is not your second most favorite team performance. They are not supposed to be down here. They're supposed to be mingling in the top with your E United, with your Tai Lu. 17 Gaming in another situation where they get 11 points. They push themselves into, I believe, what's going to be top 8 eventually. So that's good to see as well. We have a lot of high expectations to 17 Gaming as well.
And the interesting thing about them here with the 11 points is that we're now seeing the emergence, once we look at the overalls, of a mid-pack that consists of about 4 or 5 teams here that are very close to trying to push up into that top 8. So, yeah.
It's very consistent. Like 4, maybe 5 teams, 6 even maybe, that with one good game could swap out some of the other teams that are currently top 8 with themselves. So it's, solidifying yourself inside that is super important here. Nice
Flood.
damage. Flood coming in, almost 800 damage for Flood. Again, when you have this radio tower high ground on military, you're able to put out so much damage. Like if you end up with all of the crates that they had, they had thousands of spare bullets. Literally a team and a half of bullets to just loot and say, all right, let's just get all of this.
They had an entire armory.
And a Mark 14 as well.
Yes, very, very nice. They had so much to work with up there. It's like a crapshoot.
The total leaderboard.
Yeah, breaking the triple digits here. United, congratulations to them. They'll be moving through into that winners bracket guaranteed. We're expecting our top 3 at present to probably almost guaranteed be making that as well.
Right.
And then from there on out, there's a lot of work for a 9th through 16th to be able to put up to get in.
4 wins for United in 10 games. That is a statement coming in for that right there. Honestly, so good to see from them. I was talking to Trevor, their coach, saying, you know what, we just want 40. 40 or something, we're fine. Then they can, he's just gonna, take the leash off them, and then they can just do whatever they want tomorrow. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, as you said here, extremely close. Take Me Away had kind of a mediocre day, I would say. They haven't been able to extend their lead or solidify their lead in the top. So very, very close for 5 to 6 teams there towards the middle. So we might have a very, very interesting day compared to yesterday, where we had, it was almost 2 games to go. It was like, all right, it's going to be, this is the top 8.
Yeah, I think to describe it, we're going to have a violent day tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
You've got E United that could quite easily kind of manipulate what's going on around their drop locations. Tai Lu, we've already seen, who are pretty much guaranteed. They could quite easily do a few more aggressive things as well to keep out teams that they may not necessarily want in that winners bracket. I think it's going to be violent.
Yeah, and Day Trade sitting on the, especially in a angle where they're in a situation, are we going to try to have some fun? Are we going to do something if we see military games on the bridges? In general, just third-party options for a lot of the teams that are already almost or guaranteed to go to winners brackets.
Definitely so. All right. Well, thank you very much, Avenger, for joining me here today. Thank you to everybody else tuning in around the world. That does it here for day number 2 of Group B. Tomorrow we're back, same time, same place. We have got 5 more games for these teams to decide who's going to the winners bracket. See you tomorrow.
Yo. I don't think they're ready for it. On the loose, on the loose, on the loose, on the loose, with the beast, on the loose, say the truth, on the loose, off the chain, it's all the gauge, yeah, getting dry, shot me out the cage. It's getting wild out here. One by one, we watch them all falling. It's getting wild out here. But I'ma be the last one standing. You can't stop what's begun. You can't stop a revolution. Come in, come in. It's getting wild. It's getting wild. It's getting wild. Eating them, beast. Eating them, beast. Fire the most, fire the least. Eat them and beat. And they so useless. I'm so ruthless. New phone. Who this? Give no reply to excuses. Got no right, man, a toothless. Living a lie and the truth is. Got this power, bringing it. Play my anthem, singing it. Every mountain, ringing it high. I soar, I rise, reborn. Now come back like never before. Taking my final form. Yeah, it's nothing we can't overcome. Running, running, so as we ride with the sun, we wanna rise and become stunning, stunning. Watch for the revolution. You can't stop what's begun. It's coming, coming. Wait, coming, coming. Wait, it's coming, coming. Just you wait, just you wait. Yo, 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 yo. It's getting wild out here. One by one, we watch them all falling. It's getting wild out here. And I will be the last one standing. You can't stop what's begun. You can't stop a revolution. Coming, coming. It's getting wild out here. It's getting wild, it's getting wild. I don't think they're ready for it. On the loose, on the loose, on the loose, on the loose. With the beast, on the loose, say the truth, on the loose, off the chain.